from the comfort of like their home.
Basically.
Yeah, I mean, and I get it. Hey, man, if you can make money sitting in a chair playing video games while pretending that you're furthering the communist cause, I mean, maybe you are. I don't fucking know. I don't know how any of this works.
I thought, didn't he do really good when he went out and did the Tim Pool podcast?
Yeah, he's a good speaker, obviously.
Yeah.
He's a good speaker. He needs to be less up his own fucking ass. And he just needs to be like friendly. He's such an asshole. And he's got to choose who to be an asshole to. He's good at being an asshole?
No, he's good at being friendly. Like, sorry, when he did the progressive, he did like a live event in like DC or something. Yeah. He seemed really good at being friendly. I assume it's all fake. I assume he's still the same egotistical asshole behind just a mask. But the mask was good from what I saw.
I mean, I can understand why he's angry. Some people have said things about him. I mean, he's got crazy quotes in his past that, you know, going, there's no moral argument against child pornography. You're like, Vaush, I know what convoluted little logic game you're playing here, but just don't say that. I mean, again, I don't know, maybe you got your
ego
airplay.
Ruins people. Just having an ego ruins people, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really does. And honestly, I think one of the best things you can learn is to leave your ego at the door. If you can abandon your ego, you become infinitely stronger. Because ego will destroy you. You know, I see so many people who destroy their lives because they go, well, they didn't respect me, so I had to act in you know, Maddox. You've been seeing any of the Maddox drama?
I've seen a little bit of the Maddox and Dick stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, Maddox is a perfect example of if at any point he just shut the fuck up and said, yeah, I fucked up a good thing because I was jealous. I do a podcast with this guy, Dick Masterson.
Yeah.
Oh.
He used to do a podcast with a guy named Maddox. They had a falling out, and the falling out was for a number of very stupid reasons. One of which was Dick dating his ex-girlfriend, who he broke up with like 2 years prior. Another one was like Dick joking around saying, yeah, I'm not Maddox's friend. I just do the podcast for money. Like, you know, clearly joking around.
Mm-hmm.
And then Maddox, in the last couple months, made like a huge 3-hour documentary about how Dick Masterson's the worst person in the world. And you're like, bro, this is not, you gotta get over it. You know, you gotta stop going, I was disrespected, nobody understands. And this has been Vaush's whole thing. Vaush is like, you know, all these people lie about me and they say horrible things about me. And it's like, yeah, it sucks, I get it. But just like, get over it. And move on and forge new friendships. So yeah. And also Vaush, stop lecturing people about what's in their porn wheelhouse when you're looking at little anime nymphs jerking off a horse cock. It's weird.
Also, can you guys not get girls? Like, that is the energy that I'm getting right now. Are you guys big YouTubers and are like 2 hours
Tacoma
away?
Wet Cherry, what are you saying?
Why is this folder existing? I thought
doesn't
2
Vaush have
hours
a
away.
wife? Isn't he married?
I don't think so.
Even if he is, he's non-monogamous.
Other than wanting to fuck a woman as a horse.
What was that girlfriend that was in the background that one time? Did he break up with her?
I don't know what that
was. They broke up a long time ago.
I've seen that picture, but
yeah.
Here's a video from 2019, mental health stream with my girlfriend. Maybe broke up with her though.
I think maybe a long time ago, I think he said he's bi, mostly into dudes. I think. Fuzzy.
Wait, he's mostly into guys now?
That's what I thought I heard. I mean, I'm not like just trying to like smear him.
I think he's one of those like femboy chasers, as far as I.
Someone says he is a femboy roommate.
Yeah.
Okay, look, yeah, he's got a little twink. He's got a little twink boyfriend he's keeping around. I get that, but I saw that folder. This is a man who wants ladies. He's not looking for guys, unless they dress up like pretty little women, and he can, you know, bang their buttholes till the cows come home.
By the way, I just want to say, Vito, I never met you before. I really love how you put the quartering in his place. It's super cool. I appreciate that.
Did I do that? Like recently with his stupid coffee shit?
Yeah, he's a piece of shit. He always has been, and it's just nice to see.
I used to be friendly with that guy like 4 years ago because I was like, oh, he's like doing it like for the longest time. I was like, look, the quartering's not that smart, but I think he's smart enough to get that like everything he's saying is bullshit. But now it's got to the point where I go, oh no, he's starting to believe it. You know, there's like a certain point. There was a certain point where he's like, I'm just saying this for views, and then it turned into, no, I legitimately think that I'm going to save the world by telling you how Disney is cucked or whatever the fuck. And I'm like, oh, fucking shit, what happened? No!
He jumped into all that because he got banned from the Magic the Gathering community for hate rating women cosplayers.
Yes, which was embarrassing.
And then turned into like a super conservative political commentator after. It's super weird.
Yeah, I remember when he was did not have that big a following, and he basically, I mean, it's another one of those examples of the left fucking up and making a guy who's retarded into a superstar. Because he went to like a magic convention, and some, you know, soy boy leftist rainbow head like took a swing at him, like tried to beat him up in a bar or something. And I'm like, oh, don't do that, because then he gets to talk about it for the next 2 years about how I'm a victim of the left. Give me money. I'm the only one standing against these guys. I'm like, yeah, I know. Okay, good grift. And then he makes. If you ever want to see like true, I mean, at this point, if you go to the Corning's channel and you search for Bud Light, you're gonna get literally, I think, 200 videos. If you search for Brie Larson, you will also
get. Did he
get.
obsess over that when people were going into the supermarket and just destroying those cans?
Bro, like, can you literally just? This is all he does is make the same video over and over and over again.
Think of the most conservatoid retard meme you could possibly imagine. That's the quartering in the flesh now. After getting.
Do you have the ability to? Do you have the ability to show screen or to show?
I can show screen, or I can show if you want to. Screen share.
I'm just gonna DM you this link. Hold on. Just bring this up and scroll it on screen real quick.
Yeah.
I
is this just you searching Bud Light on his channel? Because I can do that too.
Yeah, if you know how to get to that.
This is the guy who's like, I'm gonna pee in my basement, and then he peed in his basement.
It's just like, how fucking brain dead is the average conservative media? I
don't know. Look at the views. 340. I mean, he must have fallen off, right? I know his name. He must have been huge before, right? I guess he must post a lot of videos too.
He posts 3 videos a day.
Okay, so these are really good views for posting that often.
He's doing fine. He's making he's making at least $1 million a year, being the most retarded person I've ever encountered.
That's poison in my soul to hear that. Okay.
You can't do anything about it at this point.
Bad human being.
All of these people, not only are they genuinely bad, but they're genuinely brain dead. But here's the thing: is being brain dead is a valuable skill in the YouTube ecosystem, because it means you can form the exact same opinion about everything and just regurgitate it endlessly.
And that's the best way to do it, right? Because once you find a niche that's working, if you exploit that niche, that's literally how you explode in growth on YouTube.
Right. Yeah. So my channel's fucked because every time something comes up, I go oh, well, I actually have a nuanced take I got to think about. But if I was a guy Quartering or Yellow Flash, I could just go on and go, well, this is just part of the leftist pedo agenda to turn your kids gay. And as we all see, and they're trying to take away, they want white men to be replaced. Obviously, we all know this. And they can just say that over and over, and they never have to think. Having a brain is oh God, I can't make money as easily as these morons. I wish I could. I wish I was dumber, or I wish I could lie. That's my problem. I've tried making all this fucking news, these daily news shit stories. I'm I can't lie. Gina Carano is the dumbest woman who ever lived, and people are like, what? She was silenced by Disney. I'm no, she's a dumb lady who insulted trans people, and they fired her because of it, and she deserves it because she's retarded. I lost
I think,
500.
What's her name? Is it Adam and Sitch? I think Adam and Sitch brought your video up and had a problem with your take. Have you talked to them at all?
On Gina Carano?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my God.
I don't know if they brought up your video for sure. I do feel like they referenced it though.
Well, okay, well, good, because I'm right. She has no case. How could she?
I don't know. I think Adam agrees with you on that. I'm pretty sure there is no case, but his opinion is there's no case, but it's just the discovery would screw them.
It's also the fact that Elon is involved, that people are oh, there might be something, because there's still huge Elon fucking simps in the world.
Okay, but if the lawsuit is just a game to get to the discovery process, which, why do I have to pretend? My issue is the people going, yeah, Gina Carano has a shot of winning this thing. I'm no, she doesn't. She went out.
I think so.
A bunch of trans people were like, "Hey, can you put your pronouns in the bio? It would really like be important to us in our community." And she said, "My pronouns are robot noises." And she got fired. She's like, "I don't get why I'm fired." It's like, well, you pissed off all those trans people.
Do you have an ethical
like,
clause in her contract?
It doesn't matter.
Oh. She didn't have a contract.
Okay. Well,
I mean, she wasn't contracted.
She had some sort of contract.
Well, no, she was contracted for the previous season, and when she was going to do her contract for the next season was when this happened, I think.
So they didn't re-up her contract. Her contract
they didn't re-up, but they also had a whole series planned with her, and like she has a ton of evidence for that.
Yeah, no, they announced that show, and then they told her, like, dude, there's like a news article about the exact things that went down, and it's basically like even what's his fucking name? Jon Favreau like was calling her and shit, and he's like, listen, we don't want to fire you. Okay? Like, you pissed a bunch of people off. And Disney told her, they're like, can you just do this thing? There's a bunch of gay employees. We have like 42 gay employees who want to have a Zoom call with you.
Okay, that was weird though. I would feel super weird getting told to go talk to every gay employee or trans employee at the company. That was bizarre.
Yeah, that sucks. Just do it.
Weird for the gay and trans.
Let me ask you this.
Right?
Yeah, would that be awkward and weird? Yes.
I mean, for $100 and whatever $1,000 an episode,
would you do it for
probably.
$500,000? Would you sit down with some gay people and let them lecture you for a little bit? Yeah, I'd do that. I'd do that in a heartbeat. I'd go, you're right. It is. You're right. Being trans is the hardest thing in the world. Absolutely, I agree. 100%. I can't believe it.
Dude, I couldn't believe how little money she made. She made like no money from the first seasons.
$25K an episode is not terrible, though. I'd be happy with $25K an episode. It's not like it's her show.
It's not her show, but I would have thought she got paid more than that. She was like a recurring character. I don't know.
She wasn't an important recurring character, though.
Whatever.
$25K for an episode of a TV show, I think that's perfectly reasonable. And they're trying to make all that Disney shit plus on
shit on a budget anyway.
No,
she was a WWE fighter, a UFC fighter or something. I don't know.
She was retired though. She wasn't doing that. She was in some action movie and it was like cool. It's whatever. But like, let's be real. She's not an A-lister. You've never seen Gina Carano on a poster. Said I got to see the new Gina Carano movie.
She's no Taylor Swift.
No, she was like building.
No Taylor Swift.
She was building up her shit. And when you're okay, that's the other thing is everyone goes, well, it's hypocritical because they didn't fire Pedro Pascal for being political. I'm like, yeah, because he's Pedro Pascal. They're like, well, that's hypocritical.
It's literally about him.
Yeah. That's hypocritical. Oh man, Hollywood's hypocritical. I can't fucking believe it. What a fucking you mean the top billed star gets away with worse behavior?
No, but this happens in every workplace. It's not even just Hollywood. Like if your top salesperson does something fucked up and they sell 10 times more than any other salesperson, it's like I don't care. Did you break the law?
1,000% true. Our top salesman at my last job threw his desk down the stairs, 3 flights of stairs, because he didn't like it in like a shared office environment. And everybody just had to pretend like it didn't happen.
Hey, Josie, you've got a bad history with talking about your work experience online, though, really, haven't you? I don't know if we should be listening to your professional advice right now. Didn't you release a woman's phone number who was interviewing for a job at one point?
I accidentally released a company phone number.
Okay.
Accidentally? What are we talking about now?
Drowsy
just bullying Drowsy.
Listen, guys, my chat is revolting. Okay, they want to hear Drowsy's take on Vaush.
I have no idea.
Sorry, I was about to redirect to that, Cleveland. Yeah, that is why you're here, Drowsy. We want to hear somebody defend Vaush, and you were recommended to me.
Oh, that's so funny. Like I wouldn't say that I'm defending him. I literally made a website, goblinshortstack.com, with all the stupid shit that he said on there. Like ultimately, I don't really care what if nobody's hurt in like what people are like jacking to or fantasizing to. Like I don't really give a shit. I don't have to do it. If they're gonna make me do it, then I'm gonna care. But like I don't really give a shit. However, considering the positions that he's had and the response that he's had to it, I think that he's pretty awful by his own standards. But like in and of itself, I just don't care. It's not going to keep me up at night knowing that somebody has fantasies that I would be bothered to have to be involved in.
Wait, you don't think it's weird that he shamed and canceled the call with Mr. Girl and like got all in his grill for like that exact thing?
There's tons of criticizable things about it. I just don't care. Like if that, I just don't care about that part of it. Yeah, obviously, hugely hypocritical. And
now, if Vaush told you, "Hey, I've just purchased a horse," How would you react to that news?
I mean, I feel like that would be a happy horse.
I think
I'd
the
get
only
worried.
thing more concerning that Vaush could say to me is that he just purchased a cobalt miner child.
So, Drowsy, do you think interest in lolly is indicative of interest in real children, or?
I haven't seen anything to suggest that, and I would think that we would have something to show that by now. But like, I'm sure there's like, let me put it this way: I'm sure there's a correlatory overlap, but I don't think that one necessarily would like play into the other.
Mm-hmm.
We can go more specific.
I would guess
that
you're gonna have a really big overlap with like weebs in that shit, even if they have no interest in children. So I'm not like freaked out about it. But if they're doing that with like a bunch of other sussy shit,
oh my,
then I would be pretty concerned.
We can get a lot more specific.
Oh god, go.
Because Vaush said that there are some relationships between an old person and a young child that could be beneficial to the young child. Would you agree with that or disagree, Elder Drowsy?
I'm assuming that he's talking about sexual relationships, given the context here.
Yes.
No, that's fucking crazy.
Okay, then you must be a different person. I swear I saw a panel with people debating this with like
we
was it Wix with Britney Smiling?
Relationships, which is not the same as an adult and a child.
What the? What? Okay, explain the difference.
Between two legally able to consent adults and an adult and a child, you need me to explain to you what the difference between those two things are? I think there's maybe another red flag popping up here then.
No, then I'm maybe just muddying up what that debate panel was, because I swear both of these things were part of the topic.
I've only ever been on a panel remotely in this vicinity about age gap relationships. These were age gaps of like adults. There was no suggested to be like illegal relationships happening. I would condemn that.
I shouldn't go off my memory. I'll just go back and make sure. But you're saying that you would have a problem with it. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Just also real quick, there's another Vaush quote from his Mr. Girl Talk, I believe. I should actually see if it's the one right here. But he essentially says that like he'd be very concerned about somebody who consumes lolly regularly and like about their attraction to kids, like that it would be indicative. He thinks it would be indicative.
This is probably I would say that this is probably just like heavy projection. I think that it's I don't know if it's sort of to convince himself that he's not doing anything wrong with that, because that's what he thinks. He has a lot of red flags, absolutely, and Vaush is super sussy. I just think that like if he's looking at like upsetting cartoon images, like in and of itself, that I don't care about. But if you put it with other stuff, like yeah, maybe don't let him be your babysitter. Probably a bad idea.
I think in an ideal communist utopia, Vaush would have sex with a underage. Well, they wouldn't be underage.
He's argued for the
at least according to him,
consent not existing, right? Yeah.
He said, well, once all of societal problems are solved, surely we can begin having sex with children. And I think he did have to walk that one back. You're like, well, Vaush, I don't know about that.
Back, yeah.
I think that it's.
I don't
really
know about
wild.
that, sir.
Like, people like Foodshops will get thrown into the fucking volcano, for just saying that they watch a lot. I guess they said some other stuff too that made it like not as like made it. Like,
they
not
made it
too.
pretty fucked
but,
up,
like,
yeah.
But Vaush, I think, has been significantly worse in totality on the subject, and
not in the shit you said.
Bending over backwards to fix it.
I think the whole point that Foodshops made about how the power dynamic thing and like the exploitation of like was it exploitation of innocence, exploitation of like power dynamics,
and claimed to have had like it prescribed for her POCD as well, which is like blatantly untrue and insane.
Did they walk that back?
Oh, no, that's what they claim. They claim that they just say they worded it poorly. That's what they said about that.
They didn't fix it though?
What do you mean?
Well, like they said they worded it poorly, but did they like
No, they didn't say
Reword
anything
it
that
correctly
would,
then?
No. It was,
Oh, no.
it was still just like my therapist told me to look at Lolly. That was still what the sentiment was.
Oh
Which,
my god.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
Well, I still
Drowsy,
think
I
in
want to-
totality, Vaush is worse because he says if you watch Lolly a lot, he basically says he thinks that you're a pedophile. And then it seems like he's engaging with Lolly. And I think that like at least I think there's room in what Food Shop said to say that like you can watch Lolly and you don't have to be a pedophile. So like Vaush is sort of like signing his own pedo certificate by his own
I
standards.
don't know why they said that you would defend Vaush. It
I'm
like you are.
defending the thing, I guess. Like that. Well, I'm not even defending. I'm just saying like I just don't care. Like it's not something like that I'm into. But like I'm not really that worried about like people's sexual stuff that isn't hurting anybody that like I don't have to be a part of. Like for all I know, it could be helping them vent that out in like a better way than they would otherwise have. I don't know, but I haven't seen anything to suggest that it's going to lead to more predation. So like, I just don't
Okay, so
care.
we're saying a
I'm
whole
not really
bunch of
into.
nothing.
I'm not.
Why am I
I'm not.
listening to how much you don't care?
What's that? Because people seem to care a lot. When it's just
I'd like
that.
to listen to somebody who cares about something.
We need a full-throated pro-Lolly defender to come in here. That's what we really need right now.
Well,
I care about
I
the
don't know
people
about
that they're
that.
taking.
Wait, Drowsy,
they
Drowsy,
take
you
that
have-
part
you have-
too seriously for sure.
What do you think of this? Okay, let me put a hypothetical to you.
Yeah.
The guy's about
Wait.
27, 28, meets a girl 11 years younger than him. He employs her at a workplace. She's 16, 17. She gets to 18. They've lost contact for a few months. And then they reconnect and they start dating. What do you think of that hypothetical? Do you think there's anything wrong going on there? Or
I think I'd have to see like the actual situation because I've seen some really fucking wild shit like that. There's a guy that like he ended up dating his ex-girlfriend's kid after they turned 18, and I was like, you're fucking gross. Like that's probably like one of the most grossed out I've ever been about somebody's relationship in my life. So but what you just described there, I don't know. It could be really weird. It could be fine by my standards. I just think that I would have to see like I'd have to know like more personal information than that to like really decide how much I care. But I'd say like it's weird. Like you said that they were their boss too, right?
yeah, they started as their boss.
There's
when they were like
there's
16,
a lot
17.
there's a lot of red flags there, and I think that I would need a considerable amount of information to be like, all right, but like just don't do that anymore. Like what the fuck? I still think that I would never like love that scenario, but there might be some information that I could be like, all right, yeah, I guess it's not a big deal. But probably shouldn't do stuff like that in general. It seems like a recipe for abuse.
Now you know how there's those horse breeders who have to jerk off horses to obtain their semen to
Don't
propagate
they put
the
their
next.
hand up their ass to make them come? Or is
Do
that
they milk?
just
Do they
cows?
milk the prostate? I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Would it be
I know about
okay?
one of those.
Would it be okay for someone like Vaush to have that job? Like maybe he'd be really good at it.
I think it'd be okay.
Is it okay to be a professional horse jacker offer, knowing that you kind of like, if you have a boner the whole time, or is that?
Yeah,
like,
I guess I don't
again-
know. I don't know what's
I think
better.
that
Is
would be
it somebody
fine.
who absolutely fucking hates that, and they're like, "I hate my job. I have no other options. I have to go
Yeah.
jack this fucking horse."
No,
dick
I think
off
it's
again.
fine.
I hate this, or the person who likes it. Probably the person.
I don't want to go down the whole
likes
vegan argument train, but yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's
I think
overall
it's.
fine.
I think it's. Yeah.
Wait,
it's
you think
good
it's not
for-
vegan for people to manually masturbate a horse? For
Oh, this is a Lolly
their-
defender, isn't it?
breeding?
For sure.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
gotta be.
No, this is a lolly defender.
Let's go.
This is our
Oh
lolly
my
defender.
god, you're right.
Smell
There
it
were
on you. I
some
can
in DGG.
smell it on you.
Who
They're
is it?
everywhere.
I can't
It's the
read
internet.
names if I have OBS. open.
Metalloid sword. It's a guy from, unfortunately, from DGG, but
You mean
this doesn't mean
unfortunately?
anything. This literally means nothing.
Wait, what accent was that?
Hello.
He's
Yeah, they're
Hello.
not all-
Yeah. Get fucked, loser.
Oh,
He's one of
brother.
yours. He's one of yours.
Okay, this is
Listen,
making more
there's
sense.
pedophiles in all walks of life, okay?
Hello, Metalloid.
Yeah, I was told I was going to defend it. So, what's the
Yeah.
What am I defending? Like, what's
Do you-
the against arguments?
I actually have
The against arguments would be, I suppose, something like, well, Queeman wanted you here, so he'll think of some questions too. But I'm guessing that we'd have a lot of concern that consuming lolly would lead to a desire to actually.
What do you
sexually
look? What
interact
traits
with
do you look
children.
for in a lolly? Like what
Oh.
is the most
Mm.
important thing?
Now,
All right, let's just
spin,
meme,
yeah.
I guess. Let's just meme, I guess.
Well, the most
No, it's
important
not
trait is that
memeing.
they're actually 5,000 years old, correct? This is like crucial.
Does that matter to you,
I'm-
Metalloid Sword? Do you
No,
need
Yeah, I'm
the
curious.
H
What the
code?
mindset. I am curious.
I'm here for full-on debate. All right, if you want to meme, you can meme.
Is it the innocence?
I'm not memeing.
Is it the attitude?
Okay. Can you try and explain to us then? Give us a case.
Okay, so the best argument, right? I remember we've had this so many times back in like 2018, 19. And what would always happen was the people against would bring up how it always falls back on they look like children, so that must lead to the people doing it like children. Now, you can sometimes infer that, but like it's hard to do that with the data that it's like coincided around it. So if we for example, let's
You
look
mean
at
the
something.
data where people are gonna lie?
No, not that data. There is no data on lolly porn. That was one of the big like things as well, because people were like, oh no, like how
Yeah,
do we
who
know
would
if it
tell
helps
the
people?
truth?
No, not that. There is, based on sexual data, so people who, for example, consume porn online, we know that people consume porn that they would never ever in their life want to do in real life, like getting raped, like gangbang, stuff like that. They consume the unrealistic, wildly outlandish porn and they get off to it. All right. So we know for a fact that people consume porn that is completely disconnected from their real life, actual erotic, like, actions. They will not act on these things in real life and they will not like it. We know that. So that works very badly into the idea that people like children, so they look at lolly porn. I think the best like example or like explanation of it is that people who watch lolly porn, watch it, or not watch, but like read or watch, do it because it is extremely disconnected from reality. If you actually like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen like
I need to stop you really quickly before you move on to anything else.
okay.
I would posit that the acts, like the sexual acts and the attractiveness of a person, are almost completely disjoint. That you think about doing the actions you like with a person
Okay,
you
but
find
what about the
attractive,
looks
and those
then?
two things are different.
What about the
I'm
looks?
saying I'm saying attractiveness, the looks, are almost always very disjoint. Like very often very disjoint from the acts you want to do with a person. So the things that you're talking about, the extreme acts, I don't know how that ties into the
okay, but
attractiveness of the person.
people jerk off to getting fucked by a massive fucking ogre.
Yeah, but why
Who
are
are
you
these
saying they
people?
would never want to do that?
No. Okay, I'm not even going to
Your
entertain that. But like,
Well, it's like
No,
50,
hold on.
because
Your
people,
argument-
because it's the same with bestiality. People get off to
Wait.
getting fucked by a fursuit guy, but they won't actually go get fucked by a horse. Like it's completely different.
Some
This
people
is,
do.
Some
That's a
people, it's
weird
not the,
context
it's not
considering
like
you
a
talked about
factual
Vaush.
like basis.
Well,
like
just
some
let Vito
people.
respond to you.
Well, I'm assuming that was his response. So some people do.
Well, hold on. I mean, you do have to admit that some of the reasons people don't execute on their sexual fantasies is not because they don't want to. It's because doing so is cost prohibitive or dangerous.
No, yeah, 100%. But we're
Yeah.
talking about when people say lolly porn is like pedophilia, that is a lot more like broad and hits the whole field, rather than some people that watch lolly porn are actually pedophiles who use it to get rid of their like itch, and the rest, i.e. the large majority, as you would in some case like getting fucked by a horse, don't actually want to get fucked by a horse or aren't pedophiles.
Right.
I think the
But
best
if I
look-
reason for
if
somebody
you
to
gave
watch
me-
it is 'cause
If
they
you gave
don't
me
like it.
two people and you told me one of them's into lolly, and then you asked me to guess which one of them it has a better chance of being a pedophile, it'd probably be right for me to choose the guy who's into lolly, right?
I mean, that's what you would. I would
Well, what's the other
personally.
category.
Personally, I wouldn't think it, because I don't base like someone's. If you, this is my thing. Like,
You think it's so disconnected that it would be a
yeah, because if you,
It's a
one sec-
hypercoat.
if you, okay, I'm gonna say something here. If you have ever seen any like child porn, like depicted
I haven't.
scenes,
Have you?
No. If you have seen child porn depicted scenes in movies, like or TV
Okay,
series,
all right.
they are completely revolting. I have never seen child porn
I
in
still
my
haven't
life
watched Cuties, no.
whatsoever. But I can imagine that it is a lot more disgusting and completely revolting than lolly porn. I would never in my life want to compare those things.
It's fine. I think it got blown up a lot. It's not. It's just like a bad movie. I watched it on stream once to see if
talking about
the
cuties?
Yeah, I watched it on stream
No,
with a heart
I'm
rate
just-
monitor on to see if what
I'm just
Mr. Grill
memeing.
said was true. And the only time my heart rate spiked was when this like Muslim woman had like her fat ass on the camera, and I got
Nice.
caught getting
Fuck,
excited.
it's go.
Well,
But
don't know
I
what's
think that
happening
movie
right
was
now.
I think there's like an adult titty in it too. But like I just think it's, I don't know, maybe I'm biased because I'm a father
Because you
and
wrote
you just
down
see
all
kids
of the
acting like
weird
that
parts
sometimes.
of the movie.
What's that?
Nothing. I'm sorry.
I had
Oh,
a
I have
heart
not-
rate
I have
monitor on.
not
It's kind of for
seen,
the memes, but also to like, you know,
Yeah, it was a good. That's a good meme.
I
get
thought it was funny.
Did you stream
also-
you watching it?
I couldn't stream the movie because it's
Right.
copyrighted, but I streamed me watching the movie, and I had like a watch party in my Discord. And then I called Mr.
The
Grill
don't
out,
get
and
a
I was like,
boner
that wasn't
challenge.
exciting at all. Like
Yeah.
all the stuff that you said in your review, like nah. And I had and the heart rate monitor was to like add either condemnation or validity to my claim afterwards.
All right, so we're
Can
saying most.
hold on.
Most
I just have to know how that's
lollicons-
connected to the argument so far. I just have to
I
ask.
don't know what's happening.
I have a question for your hypothetical though, Vito. You said if one person's watching Lolly,
Okay, or not.
I'm gonna assume that they're more of a pedo than the other person. But what's the other category you're comparing against? Like, I feel like if somebody like watches a ton of young old, where it's like barely legal, and like old people, like 60-year-old men and like 18 to 20-year-olds, that would probably make me feel a bit more inclined.
So you're saying there's stuff that's more pedophilic than lolly porn?
They would raise a bigger red flag to me, yeah. Like, because like if the person's just like a really
Right.
big weeb, like they might end up down that path. But like I think that like if you're watching like a ton of young old stuff, that's probably that's pretty weird to me.
Look, I'll say, if somebody tells me they're into lolly, I'd be like, okay, well, yeah, it's the old thing of, well, please don't babysit my kids, but whatever floats your boat, as long as it's all drawings, I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. I think that's reasonable.
But would you guys push back against though? Can like the example I gave though, like people compare or say they're in the same group, lolly porn and child porn. Like if you
No,
actually
not at
think
all.
about child porn, it's like I can't believe people genuinely put these in the same basket. It's insane. I've never even seen it, but I'm just imagining it as disgusting. Like
I think it's insane,
it's a
though.
drawing.
Insane
It's
if
No.
you don't know.
it's a drawing of a
yeah,
completely
I
unrealistic
don't-
woman compared to a real life
Not
like child.
completely unrealistic.
It
I mean,
is. Have you?
They got 2 arms, 2
No.
legs. They got
Yeah, this is
human
just a
body
cope.
parts.
It's not cope. That's
The
it.
watching
What?
is-
This
the
hyper
watching
right
Wait,
now.
are you
Things
saying?
are
Are you
completely
saying that?
disjointed
Like,
from
are you
each
saying
other.
that? Like hentai porn that is like of horses is the same of real life horses?
Okay, but it seems like people who consume anime porn of grown women also want to fuck grown adult women. Like,
Wait,
might help.
but that's
This might
not.
help.
That's,
Wait.
But wait.
I have to help.
That is completely different. Like there are like
you don't think the same attraction as to you don't think
They're
your
absolutely
attraction to a
adjacent.
human woman is
that's
spurring
like-
your
that's
attraction to an anime woman?
no, that's true, but that's like not a counterpoint. That's like saying, oh, there are people that go outside that also do another thing that is like everyone does. Like it's a
That was
correlation.
a
Like if
little
someone's
vague.
straight, they're gonna consume straight hentai most likely, right? But that doesn't mean
Sure.
that like a horse
proves
in
the
real life.
connection at a loose level immediately.
Yeah, like what traits are you attracted to in the lolly, Metalloid? Like, what are we talking about here?
That was what I
Personally-
asked.
personally,
and I
I'm-
was memeing.
Personally,
No, but it's
right?
not, is it
If-
at all? It's
I don't think about it much. I just go, okay, like for example, a lot of the like only male stuff is like between like they do like this androgynous like shit where they're like really between the ages because a lot of them will capture the like I don't know 12 to like 16 age by like making the kid like 18 but then having them look younger and then putting a huge dick on them. But like I never
Okay.
think about, oh wow, I love
Well-
that this guy's immature.
Okay, but pedophiles will literally talk about like the perfect hermaphroditic state of a child, like it's in like some Namble documentary.
Yeah,
or
that's
something
one of the
called
other
Namble
things as
Doc.
well.
Like,
Pedophiles will
that's-
like comparing a
But that's what
lolly
you
porn-
just said. That's like what you said was
Yeah,
like
but
the
what-
androgyny
No. What I'm saying they make it androgynous because it appeals to people. Like the idea of that, like they're
Appeals
not
to
andro-
who?
the idea of they're like super feminine, they don't have any puberty like aspects, they're like they look like a female but they're a male.
All right, hold on. I feel like there's a lot of energy here. Let's bring it down. We're having a reasonable
I'm
discussion.
fine. This is just me.
Are we having a reasonable discussion?
Let's not get too out of control.
What do you guys think?
This is
the
just
best
how
reason
Metalloid
somebody
is.
could
He
have
just gets
for
heated.
why?
Like
I know.
this.
I'm not heated. This is just how I am.
Yeah, I'm saying it seems heated. Okay, I apologize. I called you heated.
I'm not
Holy
angry
shit.
at all.
Holy
anyway.
shit, Metalloid.
Autistic the break bros of content. Okay, just let him. Let him spit his shit.
Saying, let's let it breathe. Everybody breathe. Okay. So my question for you, Metalloid, would be: okay, I have a picture of an adult-looking anime lady, and then I have a lolly picture. I would assume your preference is lolly, yes?
No. I didn't come on here because I like only consume lolly. I mostly consume like normal porn, like trans women and then normal women.
What's
and then
normal?
fanboys.
Give us the
You're
categories.
saying normal, like
so we can judge
like
you.
Oh, I meant
like
like normal
human.
as in
I'm
real.
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Real life porn.
real life porn is
Yeah.
normally what you consume.
I just came on to defend it because the comparison to pedophilia in my head is like whack, like it's disgusting. That people
So to you,
that.
lolly is just one of many art forms.
Yeah,
that
it's
you would
just
be
if I see it
okay.
and it's a good like most of the time when you're reading, a lot of people don't get this, but a lot of the time when you're reading doujinshi, it's like mostly for the story. So if there's a good story and it's lolly, I'm like, okay, sure, it's fine.
Mostly for the story.
There's a lot of really good manga out there. I don't know if you have to. I think that you probably have to.
You're saying for the
lolly to
sexual
go
nature
there.
of the story.
I mean, if
enjoyable.
it's just like 10 slides of like sex, it's a lot worse than like a story around it.
Yeah. I don't know if you're a good representative of the lolly community though. If it's just like one of many things you.
That's
consume.
most of the people that watch lolly though. They don't like. They're not only watching lolly.
I would have
Okay,
thought
but
that it would be the
I
tag.
don't think this idea that because there's a story like a romance plot around it that makes it better or
No, I never
less.
said that. No, I never said that.
Well,
They didn't
okay,
say romance.
but that's what it sounded like you just said. Was it?
I
No,
only
I
read lolly
I
for
was saying that's
story.
my preference. That is, I don't watch it purely because it's like under, like I don't go on there and search lolly. I don't think I've ever even done that actually. It's mostly because they're on the same like tags as like femboy or where it'll be males, and then you'd have like I don't know, fucking massive dick or some shit like that.
Yeah, I only read
Wait, if
Playboy
you're
for the
watching
articles, right?
For the story, then you're not like jacking it to it. You're just like
No,
No,
he-
you
because
are.
the story is
Oh, yeah,
hot. He's
okay.
saying he
You're
likes
definitely-
the
you're definitely
narrative
out of it.
aspect.
Yeah, like there's loads of stuff like that.
Just seeing a picture is not as exciting as a guy
Have you
saying,
never,
"I'm
like-
gonna fuck you with this horse cock."
Have
Like,
you
that's
never
what you're there
like thought
for.
about like how females like jerk off to smut porn? Like that's also a huge thing.
What's
Sure.
smut?
Smut? Wait, you don't know what smut is?
What's
erotica.
smut?
Cherry.
I don't-
Erotica.
I don't know if that's a
with
joke
a
or not.
T.
No, it's not a joke.
It's erotica.
Oh, that's like it's like a very erotic, like in depth, like intricate, like sex in words.
books.
Yeah,
Smut
it's a very
is
big.
Right.
It's a very big thing
Okay,
around.
word
it.
for
someone's
pornography.
actually. Never mind. I'm not gonna comment on that.
SMUT. All right. All right. So you're reading these
yeah.
doujin. They got a great story, great narrative, character arcs, and at the end of the day, you would say it's just normal. And
This
do
doesn't
you think
really
there's-
pertain
do you
though to like the idea of it.
Just for
what do you
Because
myself
like
and
the
people
the
that
core
don't
thing
know,
that
what's
people
doujin?
say is they look like children, right? And then that leads to you being a pedophile because if you like it, then you're like subjective.
Okay, no, you're loading up there because I don't know if people necessarily say it. You're saying like it causes you to become a pedophile.
No.
know if that's
I
what
don't mean
people
that.
say.
I mean as in if you watch it, you're most likely to be a pedophile because you are going towards to consume specifically content that is of lower like younger children, right? That's the idea. Is that those two like correlate, and because of that,
Yes.
it's a pedophile content, right?
Yeah,
but
It's
then
like not a strong correlation, but there's a correlation.
It shows
wait,
that you're
hold up.
comfortable with
Can I just
fantasizing
get
about
like an
sex with
idea? Like,
kids.
what's the? Because in my opinion, right, it's like less than 1%. Like it's like
I have no
0.5%
idea what doujin
at
is,
the
and
most.
I'm trying to piece it together.
0.5%
I'm
what?
not sure.
Of
Like
lolly
out of
cons
all
and
the people that
pedophiles.
consume lolly porn, and it's not like I just saw it. Like someone showed me it on their phone once. It's like I'm saying.
Can I ask what
actually
you're
consume
basing the stats on?
Hold
And
on, I
how
don't
you
even know what he's
define
saying.
myself.
Let him
There is no.
hold on.
like,
Go,
Hold on.
go cook.
I want an
Keep
answer.
cooking, Metalloid.
0.5% of them go on to do what?
Like they have a pedophile like pedophilia. I
You're
guess.
saying
Yeah,
less
define
than
pedophilia.
General
Hold
on.
population.
So less than 1% of the people who consume lolly pornography have any interest in actual children. That is your
Yes.
contention.
If you
Well,
showed
I disagree with that.
90% of the people that like I know that have consumed like lolly porn, if you show them like an actual like below 13-year-old, like 12-year-old, it's not even comparable. Like
Why do you know that?
I don't even.
Yeah, but you
like,
don't know what's in their heart, man. When they go, yeah, I think kids are gross. You don't
why would they
fucking know.
lie? I'm talking
A
about
lot of good reasons.
What?
no.
I can't think of any reason at all.
Actually,
Pedophiles
no.
are generally
to
thought
you
of
that makes
normally.
sense, but to me, like I'm thinking in my head, we talk about the most degenerate shit ever, like by like Vaush and shit. Like, sorry, this doesn't make much of a difference.
Well, if
but
it's-
yeah,
if
I
Dude,
can
it's like
nobody's
1%, somebody's lying
getting
'cause
shanked
the
in
average
prison for
population's
liking
like
vor. I don't know what
5%.
you're saying.
It's a good thing no pedophile ever lied about being a pedophile. It's made things
Yeah.
so much easier
No one's
for
ever had
society.
morally carved into their
That they
head
hate
anything,
lying, these people. They hate it.
If you want to abuse children, you have to tell me, otherwise it's illegal.
Exactly.
What
well,
did
this
you
yeah.
call it, Dogen? I don't know what that is.
Dojinshi is the proper like word to describe
Porn
like
manga.
a porn, not like manga.
It's a comic book.
Okay, like,
this is
I thought- okay.
ableist. This is ableist. I have ADHD. I can like barely read. I don't know how anybody.
He's reading
is
Japanese
reading
porn
and
comments,
getting off.
and everybody has
I do
fun
it all the
names
That's
time.
for
It's
them.
fucking
impossible.
great. Loads of
But
women.
also,
do it.
he talks to a lot of people about it. Apparently, he's got a
I don't know.
broad
Yeah,
example.
if
And
you
none
go
of
if you
them are
if you
pedophile.
go online in any space, you're gonna find someone that watches hentai. Okay, it's not that hard. You just found one.
That's
That's
true.
me.
That's facts.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah,
I'm
but I
just
don't find the ones
curious
who
about how you
read
talk
hentai.
to them
Like,
about
How do I
I-
talk to
no,
them?
they're
If
all
you go
reading
into
it too.
DDG chat right now, you can find 200
Oh
of
no!
them.
Stop talking.
That's
What are you
facts, that's
doing?
facts.
Look, I consume
I don't agree with
hentai.
Bro, I bet you,
I have
Gigi, like
consumed
most of the
hentai
people,
for many
there's
years.
probably loads of people in your chat that watches hentai
Yeah.
gets off to it. Okay, don't fucking virtue post like there's hardly any people that you can find on the internet. Okay,
I don't think anyone's doing that. Obviously, look, I'm a hentai enthusiast. All anime women
Okay.
deserve less.
Vito,
And,
you have
I
to
give it to 'em.
concede. If you watch a lot of
Yes.
hentai, you're inadvertently gonna run into some lie. That's like pretty much why I stopped like even trying to find hentai on any hentai sites. Like it wasn't.
You're
really,
saying
like,
like
my thing.
Lolly's gonna pop up in the search or something?
Yeah, because like if I'm cycling through porn categories, like I end up with hentai sometimes, and I just be like, this is weird. I don't want to look at this video, like and like try to figure out. Like I don't want to wonder. It's like goofy to me. So like I just end up like avoiding hentai now.
Well, I'm not a
because of it.
category guy. I go to X hentai and I type in Chun Li, and then you know what I get? I get Chun Li.
But do you concede
And
that if you're
maybe-
watching a lot of
maybe-
hentai, you're
Well, yeah,
gonna
go ahead.
inadvertently run into lolly, whether you want to or not?
I'm sure it'll. Pop
And like I'm
up,
not
yeah.
condemning
Holes
anybody.
up in the
No, I
chat.
can
runs
concede
into it.
that.
Okay.
But again, that's why again I'm not like super bothered by it because you go, okay, well I don't want to see that. That's gross, and you just click off it.
yeah, I'm not
it's
even
not
saying
the
nothing
same
bad
as
about you. Just trying to keep it real.
I mean,
here.
that's all. It's also look if you've been on the internet long enough, especially like back in the days of 4chan, people would post like actual CP on like the random board and go, Jesus fucking Christ, and click away. So yeah, if you're on the internet in the wrong places, you're gonna see some shit you don't want to see.
Did somebody earlier say that watching lolly hentai and somebody watching CP are like akin to the same thing? Because I think that the desire to see those two images have to be like wholly something different.
What, like a
No,
real human.
I don't think
and
they're
a
wholly
picture?
different.
I
Yeah,
think
it's
they're wholly
completely different. If you look at any like actual studies on pedophilia
Cool.
as well, I know this because you haven't Jstlk. You've never looked at any of this. You're just making a huge assumption. If you look
Yep.
at studies on actual like pedophiles, there's a huge irrational desire to fuck the actual child. they are unavoidably attracted to it. If you
where
actually
are these studies?
this was a while ago. If you actually go back to like 2019-18, there was like a DGG debate for like months. People would come on and genuinely debate this with Destiny, and like he was on the side that like Lolicon isn't like pedophilia like they were saying. But like
I'm not saying that the desire is anywhere near as strong. I'm saying there's a correlation.
No. I'm saying even the correlation isn't there. You can't like in any good faith way say that, and if you know anything about it, you're just saying, "Oh, child."
I can in a good faith way say that. We already agreed that if you're a straight person,
I said in a good
you're probably gonna
faith
look
way
at
if you know
straight-
anything about
straight
the
porn.
actual data. I didn't say.
Wait,
I think you're
Hold on,
misunderstanding
what?
the hypothetical.
What
I'm saying
data
that
are
they
you
are
talking
wholly
about?
different. The drive to look. If somebody holds up their phone to like fuck with you and they show you a picture of like lolly hentai, you might not like it, but you're gonna have a wholly different reaction if somebody holds up their phone.
Obviously,
on it.
but that
Like,
has
I'm gonna
nothing to
beat
do
somebody's
with
ass
any
if they show me
attraction.
the
It has
ladder.
absolutely nothing to do with the attraction.
And if they
morally,
hold up
obviously,
Lolly, I'm
drawing a picture of a child is completely different from taking naked pictures or creating child porn. Of
the
course, those are
reaction that
completely different.
anybody is going to have to seeing those two images, I think, is going
Yes.
to invoke completely different kinds of
because of the like moral weight of looking at child porn. Obviously,
No,
like, you've
that is
harmed a
so
child.
dumb.
I
In a
think there's
void,
something
you guys
even
are crazy.
beyond
in a
that.
void. No,
I think
no.
there's just something. You're just gonna have like a naturalistic instinct to either be like extremely angry or like not. And I think that if you're on the other side of it, you're going to be extremely into it.
If
you guys are talking about something
if you were in a
different.
void, right, you have to be so up your own ass to say that a person in a void with no cultural understanding would say that looking at like child porn, like an actual child that looks like them, and a picture of like a completely unrealistic like lolly is the same.
You guys
thing.
aren't understanding what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that if a person were a pedophile, they would obviously be more likely to consume lolly.
Yeah, but I'm
any
talking
other,
about
like,
the moral
hentai
weight
genre.
thing you said.
Sure. I'm saying the drive to look at one of these things and the other of these things comes from a different place. If there's somebody who is a pedophile and they're using lolly, I'm sure that they're not really getting the thing that they're looking for, but they're just sort of like very, very actively substituting it or something. I don't really know how much mental work they have to do to get what they need out of it. But I'm just saying, I think that everybody, whether you're pedophilic or not, that you're going to have vastly different reactions immediately to seeing those two different kinds of images. I think it just speaks to
obviously the real thing versus the drawn thing. Like it sorry, I said the moral weight. I meant like the realness of it, like the fact that it actually happened to somebody. The fact that it's real is the differing factor. It's not.
But that's what I'm trying to get across when I say like the distinction.
Yeah, all I'm disagreeing with you on is that they're completely disjoint.
Wait, I don't think they're disjoint. If you're a pedophile, I think you.
Well, you said they're completely disjoint. You've said multiple times they're completely disjoint.
Okay, when I said that, I was coming from the idea that you were saying that like there was a hard correlation there.
No, I said from the very beginning is a very soft correlation, but there is a correlation. I was annoyed by you saying they're completely disjoint. What's soft? I don't know. It's just more than zero.
Okay, that is wildly out of what I thought. In my eye, I was thinking you were going to say like if someone watches lolly porn, they are 25% chance of being a pedo.
You literally said when Vito asked you asked if somebody likes lolly or doesn't like lolly. Are they more or less likely to be a pedophile? You said
but that was Vito,
no way of deciding. Yeah,
what do you
I
mean
said
that was
Vito said it.
Why do I get a fake answer?
I know you were saying that. I'm just saying when you gave your soft, I didn't assume that you had the same opinion as Vito.
Sure, but you answered Vito's question that there was no way to tell that the lolly thing was not indicative at all, 0%.
Yeah.
So you were saying completely disjoint.
But now you're saying less than 1%.
Wait, whoa! You're coming both your what?
I give you two random people, and I tell you one of them is into lolly porn.
Yeah.
And I tell you, you win $1 million if you figure out who the pedophile is. Which one do you pick?
If you had two people, I would say the person who watches lolly porn. That's obvious.
Okay.
You'd pick the person who's into lolly
because
porn.
that's like saying if you know nothing about two people but one thing that points you in one direction, even if it's infinitesimally small, you always pick that one because it's 1 point towards the like objective.
Yes, you have correctly figured out the hypothetical scenario.
You're not giving any information.
But I wouldn't say it because they're like
you don't need a
high chance. You know what I mean? Like that's what I came on.
You don't even need that, but it's fine.
That was where all of my confusion came from. Was where you were saying they're completely disjoint.
That they're probably
because I came on thinking that like there was a like Queenman was saying that you're a pedophile if you watch lolly porn, and no one went against it.
No, it's only like a 50-50 chance you're a pedophile.
Do you guys think that there's a reason that somebody might watch lolly that has nothing to do with like an attraction to children? Because there's like at least two off the top of my head. If they just like watched hentai when that was like their first exposure to porn and it happened to be lolly, that just might be the thing that they like sort of explored their sexuality with and it has no mapping onto real humans. Or if they just like the oh man, I said it a bunch earlier.
They like the stories.
No, like the tabooness of it. Like, man, if somebody came in here and seen me watching this, oh man.
That's what I said earlier about the unrealistic,
the
like,
taboo.
Disconnection from reality. Yeah.
because I probably couldn't imagine anything that would be more in like the taboo realm than that, other than like things that aren't legal.
The thing is, I don't think you even need to like say that like, oh, it was their first time, or like it's like, you know, like you don't need to funnel it down. I think if you genuinely got all the people that looked for lolly porn and enjoyed lolly porn, most of them wouldn't be pedos, and like it would be a very, very small percentage, and most of them wouldn't even be attracted to like the actual younger men or women. They would like, they consume it because like either one, it's like part of the content they consume, like as in the femboy stuff I've talked about earlier, where it's very high crossover because of the artists, or two, because they, I don't know, they enjoy the dynamic of like having a small.
It's not because of the artist at all, though, is it? I mean, the inherent thing of femboys is sort of an attraction to the prepubescent features of a male.
Yeah, but what I mean by that is that a lot of them are displayed as like, they're like, they look like a 12-year-old height. Like,
I just think any femboy shit, you're probably gonna find the same crossover as lolly shit, because that is kind of just.
Wait, you think femboys and lolly are the same?
In terms of crossover with pedophiles, yeah, I'd say probably roughly the same.
Wait,
It's
really?
about looking at
Really?
prepubescent boys. Ultimately, that's what it's. That's the point.
Okay, that is. Well,
Wait,
yeah.
what are femboys prepubescent? What are you talking about?
I don't know. But
Well, it's the prepubescent features. It's a lack of the signs of a developed male.
yeah, but like,
That's what we're calling femboys now. All the
Wait,
femboys I'm
is it not?
thinking of are.
What are the traits of a femboy? What makes
no,
a femboy?
you're right about that. Like, it's the, it's not really just that though. It's more like a femboy is like a very like
Well,
feminine
young,
male.
but not prepubescent. I would think.
No, you
I
don't
think
even
a
have to be
femboy
young.
like 18 to 25 is like.
You don't have to
femboy.
be
Sure,
young
yeah,
to be a femboy.
They may well be. If you look at like, sure, some femboy on Twitter is posting, they're probably going to be 18 to 25 or whatever. But I'm saying the point of the attraction, the traits they're attracted to, are the traits of a male who's not developed.
No.
Well,
It's not that. It's the idea of them
on.
being like smooth skin, like being
Yeah.
feminine features.
That's
It doesn't
like
have to
saying
be
women-
immature.
You were just saying just now that children are used in these things because they have that androgynous look.
No, wait, but like, a man who's attracted to like a 20-year-old woman, you think he's attracted to her prepubescent features?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
If a man's attracted to like 20-year-olds, you know, is he attracted to the fact that they're closer to prepubescence?
Well, I mean, what do you mean by attracted to 20?
I think a femboy is just trying to look like a young woman, maybe like a highly sexed up one, but I don't think they're trying to look like kids.
Well, that's what they look like. They look like an underdeveloped male. That's.
I wouldn't say that.
I have no idea where you're getting that from.
Also, I would just say
What else is a femboy? They can't. They don't look like
wait,
women.
wait,
The
femboy is a
wait,
guy
wait,
dressed like a lady.
cross-dresser. Well, no,
You can,
Yeah.
no, you can
that's not
easily
what I
have.
would say.
You can
Femininely
eas-
dressed, sure, but it's not necessarily like there's a. I don't think a femboy is quite the same thing as a cross-dresser, is it?
You can easily have femboys that are
Isn't
completely
Finster
ripped.
a femboy? Is that not what they go by, or is that just what I hear people say?
I'm not sure.
Finster is a femboy. Yes.
Femboy would
Okay,
seem
yeah, because
to
I just
be.
didn't even know that they weren't.
Oh wait, no, I'm pretty sure they're trans
time.
now. They might
Okay,
be trans.
just to clarify, it's not they're not cross dressers. They come off more ambiguous.
Yeah, it's
what's
just
that word?
Ambiguous.
You
They're
shouldn't
not
be able
cross
to be
dressers.
sure.
They're wearing like fucking skirts and stockings.
It's not one thing. There's so many different types of femboys. There's no one dimension
No,
of
Yeah.
femboy.
no. they have this-
The schoolgirl skirt isn't like necessarily what they have to wear. It's not
It
like
is
a
if
uniform.
I'm gonna fuck them.
Femboy is literally just the new twink. That's all it is. But the reason why I said that they cross over in the stuff earlier, Queen Man,
No
is because
skirt, no stockings, no sale. That's what I say.
people enjoy the younger looking person, like as I said earlier, like the lolly thing, but they do it with males. So they have
Yeah.
males with huge dicks, and they obviously, to get multiple groups of like audiences, they make them like the androgynous between like a lolicon and an older person. It's not because they have to. Most of the femboy stuff, or not femboy, most of the male stuff isn't even femboy related.
Hmm. Well, I don't know.
I feel
All this-
so out
look,
of my element now.
All you kids, I don't know what you're
I'm
doing.
lost now. To be
You're all
honest,
jerking off to something or other. Vaush is jerking off to horses.
How old are you, Vito?
I am 35.
Oh, okay. So maybe there's a reason why you and I are both a little lost here. Okay, it makes me feel. a little
Yeah,
better.
well, all the kids are dressing up in different costumes and inflating themselves like Sonic the Hedgehog. Look, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. No,
A man with-
you
a
don't
man
sound
with a-
lost.
A man with a Pikachu medallion fucked his mother. The world's topsy-turvy. The point is, the only way to get through it is to buy my new comic book, Super Killer, available now on Indiegogo. And check out the Biggest Problem in the Universe podcast at youtube.com/biggestproblem.
Yeah.
Give me a
Also,
link. Give me a link so I can share it.
I mean,
Oh,
put some links
okay, I'll
somewhere.
give you a link.
But you should tell Dick to come on at some point. Maybe he has some thoughts on what exactly it means to be into lolly porn.
I don't think he would have any fucking idea. Dick's older than me. Here, I'll send you the link. Who am I DMing this to?
You can give it to Cherry. She can put it everywhere.
Hold on. What was I gonna say? The point is, everybody hates Vaush, as they should, because he's a hypocrite who fucks horses. That's kind of funny.
Why didn't you plug your channel? Aren't you your kick.com/veto comedy?
I'm not doing. Where are you streaming this? On YouTube?
YouTube and Kick.
All right. Well, people need to subscribe to the podcast.
Yeah, there's
That's
like
what needs to
1,500
happen.
people watching you.
Oh, okay. Hey, how's everybody doing? Are they watching on Kick?
What's our numbers right now?
Yeah, there's
973 on Kick.
I was watching this on
and
YouTube.
370 on YouTube. Yeah.
Okay, well, we got a great podcast at youtube.com/biggestproblem. You guys been watching me on Kick or Keep? Killing
They
it.
have. Yeah,
I
they
seen you were
were
on
like,
it.
is this the Kick or Keep winner? Yeah.
Me and
That's
Dick
what you're
won the
known as.
Well, I don't know if they did one after we went
Ah,
on.
you spoiled
I think
it.
we've destroyed that
I don't think
show
so.
because we're too good. Every time
you
I
keep
go,
winning.
I keep showing up in the finals. I've won twice, and I've been in the finals 4 times.
And
Every
half
single
the
time
you guys
I've-
don't deserve to be at the end.
No,
Honestly.
not at all. I'm just there. The problem is they bring on all these idiots, and they spend the whole time arguing about who's a pedophile, and I just go, "You guys are idiots," and then people seem to like that. So I've gotten to the finals 4 times. I've made $1,000 off that stupid show. But anyway, everyone should
Wow,
be...
don't say stupid. Krontos works really hard.
Does
Yeah.
he needs a guy to write better questions for him.
And there've been like 5
Oh,
streams
come
about
on,
Destiny
this is
questioning
like,
how hard he's actually working, and him just getting triggered as fuck about it.
His questions are like, you'll come on and it'll be like, what do you guys think about Pal World? I'm like, what the fuck? Nobody wants to talk about fucking Pal World right now. That's
Dude,
the
I shit you not. I watched the stream where their questions guy was writing the questions for that show, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we should put a Power World question in there." And I watched that, and I was like, "Oh brother, oh no."
Come on, it's their
I
first time
sent
on the
them-
internet.
I sent them some questions. I'm like, hey, why don't you guys let me write some questions for you? And I sent them some good ones. You know what
Oh,
they
he's
said?
in my chat right now. He's in my chat.
Good. He's
What did I
fucking.
say? Yeah.
I told they didn't say anything. They didn't even fucking DM me back. I spent all this time. I spent like an hour writing 5 or 6 decent questions, being like, let me know if you want to use any of these. They didn't even fucking write me back. I'm like, you know what? All right, never mind.
Is
Keep having
Krontos
shitty
not the
questions,
question
'cause-
guy.
I don't know.
No, it's.
I think Karantos has farmed out his entire job and he just
Let's
collects
say,
a paycheck
yeah, what does he
and
even
shows
do?
up.
It's based, honestly. Discord speds do all his work. This guy called Kankamore streams every morning and just sits there writing kick or keep questions with his friends. It's great, honestly.
They stream writing the questions, but the
Yes,
people are gonna know the
yes.
questions ahead of time. They're gonna
Yeah, you
fucking
can. You
chart
can know
them.
the questions
The
ahead of
content's
time
the
if you watch his
answers.
stream. Yeah.
Yeah, Turkey Tom was a ringer. He knew one of the questions for some reason. We're like, whoa, this is bullshit.
What
Point
is
is,
this, trivia
guys,
night?
I guess so. Come on by Biggest Problem. We got some great stuff. And guys, I'll come back on sometime.
Nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you guys
I
ever have
think he
Mr.
gave you
Is Mr. Girl
terms.
not allowed on?
Max might be the one person I'm kind of against allowing on.
He's gonna be on my
look,
stream in the
look,
near future.
Listen,
Oh.
yeah, Elder Drazi is a huge Mr. Girl fan. I just want to say I have liked Max's content historically, but I watched what happened after Vaush talked to him and how every clip from Mr. Girl's conversation with him has been used to hang him now, and I'm just like, you know what? Maybe I'm
Wait,
okay.
to hang Vaush? Is that
What
what's
have you got to
happening?
hide,
Yeah.
Jstlk? Yeah, what's the problem, Jstlk? Why are you worried?
Do you guys want to know an
what
Easter
would
egg
it
about
be?
that makes Vaush not look good too? I didn't know
What's
about this for
that?
the longest time. Vaush left at the end, acting like he was disgusted with
we talked
anti-pedophilic
about it.
sentiment. But when Mr. Girl asked him what color the android's panties was, I did not know for the longest time that this was a reference to the DM that got Vaush in trouble in Destiny's community. And so that was actually like a
So he was
super,
memeing.
super, yeah, because Vaush was already like, he just sort of like just started shitting on Mr. Girl instead of answering and not taking it serious. So that's when he's like, what color do you think their panties were, Vaush? So he was actually running away from Mr. Girl, maybe bringing that back up.
Ribbing on his past.
Yeah. And
All I know is what's happened to Mr. Girl is the greatest tragedy of the modern age. He is one of our greatest living artists, and because of his art, he has been banned
Dude.
from every platform
Vito,
his
on
new
song
Earth.
was not
no.
His
No,
new
I like
song
his new
was
song.
not.
I like his
It
new
was
song.
not it.
Yeah.
It's so
Wait,
good.
It was
I
not
like
it.
I like the new song. Okay.
Which one?
I
Shake
like
Your
the new
Pussy
song.
Flaps or the other new one?
No, Pussy Flaps is like fine, but the
Fine.
one
Pussy
where
Flaps
he-
was dog
Pussy
shit.
Flaps is genius.
Oh my
No,
god.
Pussy Flaps is dog shit.
I don't know
in my
how to
opinion.
shake my pussy flap, so I can't relate to the music that he's putting out there.
Whatever
Oh
his
my
latest one
gosh.
was a
His new one's
banger.
good. His new one is a
I
banger.
watched it
And-
with like a bunch of black people though, and then they all said it was shit, and I felt
Yeah.
awkward saying it was good.
Well,
I
well,
did
He
a
got us
reaction
all in
to
a
it, and
call and he played it.
guy said that one's a no for me, and I was like, yeah, Mr. Girl's not for everybody. Like, no, I like him, just not this song. And I was like, all right, I can't really argue with you. Like, I'm not
he
gonna argue
makes
with a
the
black
beats
person who doesn't like
himself,
it.
guys.
That
He's
part is very
making the
good.
beats.
Yes.
And I told him, I said, Max, like, what are you doing spending all this time making these beats? You can just buy beats. And he's like, then it's not me, man.
Have you heard
Then it's not
One More
real.
Day? You
No, the
can't buy
music is very
that.
good that he does.
That was a masterpiece instrumental.
Have you heard I Kill Pedophiles slowed down with extra reverb? Mm.
No, I respect
Beaks.
Jimmy's original version.
Wait, Jimmy?
Jimmy played the guitar on that.
Oh, shit, I didn't even know. Can you even get that on YouTube anymore? I Kill Pedophiles because
Yeah,
I'm not
it's there.
one.
Yeah, it's there somewhere.
Well, because he can't have a channel, but he can have like music. It's so confusing.
Somebody else
So
runs
the
a clip
music-
channel for him too on YouTube.
The point is that the fact that one of the greatest artists and intellectuals of a generation has been silenced is a genuine fucking tragedy and a mark on the human race that will remain until we unite and get him back.
I have never
banned
been
from
out Mr.
Patreon.
Thrill fan
He's been banned from
in any stream
Patreon.
ever.
Do you know how unreasonable that is?
I think him
I'm
being
cool.
banned from anywhere is extremely unreasonable. Like, I understand he pushed boundaries with his content, but it just seems like it's more mass flagging.
Did we
to me.
not push bound? We're basically telling people, yeah, we want to push the boundaries. We want to explore, controversial topics. And if you do it, we'll run you out of town. And we'll make you penniless. It's like, what the fuck? How can we have any sort of society? We were always talking about free speech and how much we want to defend it, and we've let Mr. Girl sink into the abyss with no one raising a finger to stop it.
Even
it's
if
a
you
tragedy.
hated him, you can't deny that he brought the best content out of everybody that he talked to. It was
Even if you
it
hate
was
everything
amazing.
he said, he's done nothing criminal. The only thing we hate him for is his ideas. And hating a man for his ideas does not mean he should be deplatformed and removed from this
Yep, I
entire
agree with
internet
that.
sphere.
Can
I
I?
don't know. His
it's
black hole
horrifying.
arc's pushing that line for me.
I am just gonna have to ask you then, Vito. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to ask you. You got no issues with how he DM'd every woman Destiny's ever had sex with to ask about him?
Mr. Girl's crazy.
Okay.
Like he's
So
crazy.
based.
Look, I don't agree with everything Mr. Girl's
Jstlk
done.
is just jealous because he's only messaged half of them.
He's
Well,
working
Max-
on it.
So when Max came to me at one point, I was talking to him. I think I can say this. It was like, I've been contacted by these women and they say Destiny's done these horrible things to me. And I tried to very strongly hint, like, Max, this is not your fight. Like, you don't need to defend anybody. It's just going to end badly for you. The problem is that Mr. Girl, and this is what's crazy, is everybody calls him like a pedophile and thinks he's a criminal. Mr. Girl's the most moral motherfucker I've ever met, to the point of annoyance.
Dog.
Where if I found a penny on the sidewalk, he'd be like, well, you have to figure out whose fucking penny that is. I'd be like, it's
Yeah.
mine. I found it. He'd be like, nope, doesn't work. So that's kind of what happened with Destiny, is that if Mr. Girl gets
I
a
know.
whiff of something that he thinks is improper, he can't let it go.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, Russia Today, that like obviously Russian propaganda news site or whatever.
Yes.
How do you know that?
How do I know it's Russian propaganda?
Yeah.
It's called Russian Today.
Because I was in their
Keep going.
because
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
in
keep
their
going.
Telegram group when they tried to hire me like 5 years ago. So they tried to give me a job as a social media manager, and I told that to Max, and he said, if you take that job, we can't be friends anymore. I'm like, why? It would be kind of funny. Like, I'm writing propaganda for the Russians. He's like, that's inherently evil. I would never speak to you again.
Oh, right. I think I know this.
And
but I
he's
don't think they
right.
do. You
He's right.
grew up with him, right?
Well, it's
Or
interesting.
same area.
So
right?
we lived in the same town and we went to the same high school. He was a senior the year I was a freshman. So I knew of him because even back then he like would print out this newsletter and like distribute it around the school at lunchtime, and it would be all this shit about like how girls don't actually have orgasms or whatever. I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember exactly what it was.
So true.
And I remember, like, it was like satire. It was like insane satire from like an edgy high school kid. I
Actually,
remember
his
being like,
funniest
Yeah, yeah.
content.
yeah, and I went, wow, that's fucking hilarious. I can't believe this guy's doing it. And, you know, it was this big thing where he got like suspended, but then they had to let him come back because he had free speech rights to make shitty jokes about vaginas. So it's just like this thing where I knew of him, and occasionally he'd pop up in the news, and I'd be like, oh, I went to high school with that guy. And then I eventually moved to LA, and he was friends with. You know how like the seniors all hang out with the seniors, but then one of them has a brother who's like in your class or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
His
basically
brother?
met Max because he was friends with the older brother of another kid I knew, and everybody was living in LA at the time, so I met him at like a party, and then I don't know, we kind of became friends that way. I was like, "You're the kid who wrote that fucked up news article that kept going around our school." He's like, "Yeah, that was fun." So. But then everybody goes, oh, they've known each other for 20 years and they've been best friends the whole time. I'm like, nah, I met him like 6 years ago, bro. I don't even remember when I
Did you
came
know
out
the guy
to
that he
LA.
made the movie with? The Fiend? I
The
just
guy
wanted to-
who's like in The Fiend, I also went to high
Yeah.
school with that guy.
Yeah. Did he
but-
ever make his rap album? My wife and I just
You know
watched
what?
the movie. I want to know so bad.
I actually don't know. I did go to
Shit.
high school with that guy, and I remember him. He was like a popular guy. I think he was the
Really?
same guy. Dude, there was like our high school. It was weird. You wanted to know another thing about our high school? You remember that YouTube Rewind that was like the most disliked YouTube video of all
With
time?
Will Smith.
Yeah, with Will
Yeah.
Smith.
That was
Yeah?
directed by another kid from our high school.
What? It was in
At
the
one
water.
point, I went up, who made that YouTube video? And then I'm like, oh shit, that guy was in fucking math class with that guy. We had a weird high school, man.
Yeah, I think Destiny, Stephen or whatever, has a friend who also went to that school.
Yeah. So there's this town in
Someone who shall not be named.
Massachusetts, Amherst. You've probably heard of Amherst College. It's also
Yeah.
like where the main UMass
UMass
campus
there.
is.
Mhm.
All this stuff where like, you know how the liberals have all gone insane and we want to give reparations to everybody and all
This
this
is
stuff.
the genesis of all of it.
We started all that. So
Yeah.
that's why all the that's why guys like me and Mr. Girl are so fucked up, because we grew up like early to all this like insane liberal activism. And even at the time we were like, man, a lot of like some of this, okay, I get it. Like, yeah, don't discriminate or whatever it is. But some of this shit is bullshit. You know, like some of this is just like performative but bullshit and like doesn't make any sense. And I think it's driven us all semi insane in different ways. He
Not
now
me.
makes no.
I've made it through perfectly fine.
I don't know. It was weird. We grew up with all this like white guilt, all this straight white guilt. And I think the kids today who are being hammered with it, they're more prepared for it because they can go on YouTube and someone can tell them like, "Hey, don't worry about all this. It's all stupid bullshit." But back then, I think we believed it.
Yeah.
We're like, "Yeah, us white people are ruining America." And then hopefully you grow out of it. All right, guys.
Yeah, you
subscribe to
really
my
gotta go?
podcast. Yeah, I gotta
All
work
right.
on some stuff. I'll
Vito,
talk to you guys
it's
later.
nice to meet
For
you.
sure.
Nice talking to you.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
hey,
cool having you on.
I enjoyed being on. We'll come by some other time.
Yeah, you
Bye-bye.
can drop in whenever you want now. You get the perms, so
Oh, good. All right. Yeah, let me know when you're streaming. If I like the topic, I'll come in.
yeah.
I heard
just-
about pedophiles, and I'm like, I gotta get in there. No. All right, bye.
Do you guys still need me
Yeah.
for anything?
No, I think we're gonna wind down right away.
All right, Quayman, nice to see you. JSTLK, I guess nice to more formally meet you.
Yeah, thanks for coming
Cherry.
on.
Yeah, I don't like cherry. I do not like or respect cherry. So, let's see. Yeah, I thought it was really funny where more Mr. Girler is always good. It's true. He said she's trying hard to be a bully. I think that I really enjoyed her just getting shut off all the time. Okay, I think I'm gonna talk to Foodshops now. because that seems like the logical jump from where I was just at. So I'm gonna have to wait a second, and then I'll pop up the Discord thingy.
Hey,
Finally, just what did you think? I thought it was good. Hey, how's it going? Shoot, 1 second.
hey, Eldrazi. I think you were on a Jstlk stream.
Yeah, I took a shower and I came out, and then I had like 4 messages like, "Hey, Jstlk wants to talk to you," and I'm like, "What the fuck is going on? Did did my nudes get leaked? What the fuck is happening? Why are so many people messaging me at the same time?"
Oh no. Yeah.
No, they
Yeah,
thought
so
that I
what-
was gonna defend Vaush, and I was just like,
Mhm.
no, I don't care that he watches that stuff. I do think he's a fucking idiot and he engaged with it in the worst way possible. And I may have made shortstackgoblin.com featuring the dumbest things that he said about it like 2 hours ago.
Jesus. Wait, hold on. Wait, do you think that like with Vaush, right? Like I feel as though he dug himself too deep of a hole. Like just because he lies. He actually just lies. Like
Not just the lying, but he set up
Yeah.
he built a coffin that he was going to try to put Mr. Girl into. And then some other people that he's talked to in the past, and he ended up making it perfectly sculpted for his body. It's just so funny.
Yeah, because I'm wondering about that a little bit, right? Because it's just like this. Okay, for anybody who's been on the internet for a long enough time, like people will always understand that like lolly stuff is just fucking everywhere, right? And I know that it sounds so bad saying it too, because it just sounds like everybody on the internet's a fucking pedophile. But like the thing is that like I understand, right? Like the outside
Watching Lolly doesn't make you
perspective,
a
but
pedophile.
like, sorry.
So watching Lolly doesn't make you a pedophile. By the way, real quick, can I get your camera?
Yeah, I agree with that. Huh? What?
Can I get your camera?
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, let me turn on my camera.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I always make the person I'm talking to really big, and it's weird when it's just like 70% of my screen's your Discord icon.
Your Discord thing is loading, but I just want to say, like, I don't know how you found the perfect person to talk about this subject, but it's just so ironic.
Right when I got out of there too, like just so you know, like I would say the same about everything you said. Like I just don't care what people watch. But when I got out of there, I was like, well, since we just had that conversation, I'm gonna go talk to Foodshops. Seems like the next logical jump. Like I'll joke around. I'll joke around about it.
That's terrible.
But
No,
look,
sorry, that's funny.
if it was like something that like nobody ever talked about anymore, and it was just like, Jesus Christ, Drowsy, like I'm trying to move past, like you still joke about it and shit. So I'm gonna joke about it too, which is why I can't help but make fun of Vaush. Hey, Froggy Style, thank you for gifting membership. I appreciate you. Sorry.
Oh, yo, base. Yeah, but like dude, the reason why I make fun of Vaush is just because just for pure optics, like he would, and for being disingenuous, he would say stuff relating, like condemning Lolly and whatever the fuck, right? And I'm not defending Lolly in his fucking like stead or anything, right? I'm just saying that he's a hypocrite, right? And it's fucking terrible
Yeah.
that he's a hypocrite because his audience has bought into the fact that, oh, he doesn't defend the Lolly shit, which is like, that's retarded. I feel as it just proves that he's always been defending it, but not in public, right? Yeah, I don't know.
Also,
Like that's how I feel like.
I feel like he's almost like I feel like there has to be some sort of fetishization of him talking about all the horse stuff to an audience. Like it can't just be the horse stuff because he talks about it to a lot of people that are listening enough to where like I feel like making people uncomfortable on the subject of horse dicks is like part of the thing that he really likes. It has to be. He's so energized about it. It's
that's
crazy.
okay. See, now when you put that thought in my mind, I feel as though like I feel a little traumatized because I don't want to think about him kind of like jerking it off down there, like to his fucking audience. Like, what the fuck is right?
He gets really
Jesus.
graphic with it.
Yeah.
You see like the
Dude,
tweet
I mean-
compilation videos of his?
No.
Just the amount of times he's tweeted like I love, all caps love, horse cock. It just is insane. It's too much.
A lot of the things that he says just feels like pure cope. I don't know. Like that's just how it comes off to me.
Elias Unknown.
Um
Alias
and-
Unknown, Jesus.
he knows on the inside he likes lolly, but
Thank
he's
you.
not even
That's
in
fair.
denial about it,
Or-
right? Like he
Remember.
embraces it, but he just doesn't want to express it in public. Because yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, he said that if you're regularly engaging with Lolly, you're probably a pedophile. To like own Mr. Girl in a conversation, even though Mr. Girl didn't say that he does.
Mhm.
He was trying to be like, you think too much about it, therefore you probably watch it, therefore like you probably pedophile. But like he signed his own pedo certificate. He wrote down all the criteria and then he checked all the boxes and just said, now we wait. We wait for people to see that it's my name written on here. And he fucked up. And he put his pedophile certificate next to his taxes. It's insane.
Okay, hold on. Are
His
just-
criteria. When I condemn somebody for something that I don't think
Yeah.
is wrong, I'm condemning them based on their own espoused values. And especially when you've used it as a weapon against other people, fuck off.
Mhm.
And yeah, I'm gonna make fun of you. I'm probably not gonna call him a pedophile, but like I think that he has some explaining to do then.
he should explain. Oh my god! And this also happened with tomfoolery as well, where it's like there's this entire discourse going on right now about being disingenuous to your audience and like not really telling the full truth, right? And whatever. So it's like for me, as I'm like watching this from a sort of background perspective, right? It's just optically, because tomfoolery kind of optically, want to present himself better, because so then his audience would kind of buy into it, right? But the thing is that now when I'm looking at fucking Mr. Girl, not Mr. Girl, sorry, not Mr. Girl. Well, that too, all right? But when I'm looking at Vaush, right, he avoided being genuine to his audience, and now it's all blowing up in his face, right? So kind of fucked.
Yeah, it makes you the big problem with that too is when you say things that are obviously untrue. When you have a controversy like this where some people are automatically going to think that you're a pedophile, you make it to where now nobody really knows, nobody can trust you to say anything accurate about it, and we only have the things that you've said in the past. And he's set up a really damning case for himself. This is a really bad spot to have sort of put yourself in. And I don't mean like the things that he's like into, but I just mean like the kinds of positions that he's had because of that. So like,
I think I also remember before he was cheering on Xander Hall when Xander Hall was on his anti-lolly like crusade or whatever, right?
he's been pretty consistently like anti-Lolly, but somehow he's like harder on Lolly than actual CP rather consistently, which is fucking. He has to be like the only person that's ever had that take.
Wait, what? Wait,
He's made arguments
Vaush?
in favor. Yes. Because we have children that mine cobalt for computer parts, and you own a computer, and nobody's freaking out about that. Therefore, CP's fine. You can consume it. You can make it. Who cares? That's his position. In that framing, sure.
I don't. Okay, hold on. I don't
he's
think
also
he thinks
said
that
in a
CP
perfect
is
communist
fine,
society
right?
where power differentials are gone, we probably don't need an age of consent anymore.
Oh God! Yeah, I remember that. He said that in his Discord server in the past, or it's in Destiny's
said it on
Discord server,
stream.
or whatever.
I saw
the
that
fuck,
clip
right?
today.
Yeah, dude. It's just because I get the point, right? Sorry, not the point of not that. Sorry, not that one. Not that one. Okay, Jesus. Okay, all right. What the fuck? No, I mean specifically the one, the cobalt mining point, right? Where it's like, okay, we have to talk about like the the children abuse or whatever the fuck, right? The equivalent of like children abuse and whatever. And while there is a point to be made there that abusing children is bad, which is very obvious, right? The thing is that I think Chud's argument, from what I understand, is that Chud Logic's argument, sorry, his argument was that, hey, the abuse is what makes the money. Meanwhile, it's the cobalt mining is what makes the money for the cobalt mining scenario, right?
Yeah, the abuse just makes it more money. It makes it a more profitable thing. Otherwise, they just use regular people that aren't.
Sorry, Elder, you're cutting out.
I'll say a little.
I
might have been a
know.
little far from my mic. Is that better?
Yeah, that's
Well,
better.
I
Yeah,
mean,
go ahead. Can you read that?
the raw materials is what's making the profit, but the abusive employment practices is what's increasing that profit. So like they're both making the money. You couldn't just make money. You couldn't just like extract money off of like the blood and tears and like black lung of children, but like it does make the money you have more.
Okay. Yeah, but there is a difference between like the source of the money, right? Like for example, one day you can have cobalt mining. I think his argument was that one day you can have cobalt mining that is done ethically, but especially if you have like standards and whatnot and such, and enforcers, right?
Why
But
does he have to go this far? This is crazy. You can just say that like most people, like adults, you just take adults who work really difficult, shitty jobs, like coal miners have a shit fucking job, and that's terrible. But we wouldn't then say like, well, you work at a coal mine, why would you be mad if I rape you? Like that's not the same. Everybody understands It's not the same when it's an adult, so obviously we understand it's not the same when it's a child too.
Yeah, okay.
I feel like all this stuff is like we're building up this large structure to take something down that we can just like take out with a kick. He's going way too complex.
Wait, hold on. No. But you have to also understand, right? Like that.
Thank you for the super chat, Emery.
When it comes to kids, I would imagine that it is like far more. I don't know. People have a stronger feeling about that.
No, it is worse when you sexually abuse a child than an adult because it fucks up the adult that's going to be like dramatically too. So like the mind is still forming and you're disrupting like important developmental things, and in addition to almost certainly causing them physical harm. I'm sure that like sometimes it happens where there's no physical harm, but like either way, you're still gonna fuck up their mind in almost every scenario. And so it's just something we say like you cannot do that, and you can't really control for any of those things. There's no way to do it without risking like tremendous harm. If there is harm, it's going to be like almost maximal on like their mental health and like their development. Whereas if you do it to an adult, at least they have some sort of defenses mentally for it, like much more than a child would. It's just the things that we think that are bad about doing it to an adult are just amplified in many different ways because as a child, and also just because there's additional victims too. Like there's the parents are also victims of this as well. It doesn't just happen to the one person.
Okay. But most people would probably say something along the lines of like, okay, they're not like an adult is old enough to give consent to be in a coal mine, right? But like a child is not old enough to give consent to be part of CP, right? Like that is something to think about as well.
Oh, right? I was comparing the adult coal miner to the children cobalt miner. And
because the coal miner, adult coal miner signed up for the job. They signed up for the freaking job. Yeah.
Tuna Chips working on a thing about child labor, which I think is.
Wait, Drazi, this is insane. Hold on, Drazi. When it comes to a kid, right? You have to. I feel as though that these are magnitudes difference, right? Because because the product of coal mining again is the coal, but the product of CP
I just don't think that you have to extrapolate that far.
Pleasure and the paying of the kid, right? Like,
so in both instances, somebody with more power than the person who's is being exploited. Somebody with more power than somebody else is exploiting them. But whenever we do something that's harmful to a child, it's going to have much larger downstream effects on their life and their development than if you do this to an adult who's pretty much already kind of like formed up all their brain goo.
No, you misunderstand me. So I guess the point I'm trying to get across here, right, is that I understand that you can get to a place where, you know, having two avenues to produce the content, right? The content being, you know, I guess CP, right? Oh God, oh fuck, right? Because CP, right? There is only, no matter if you try to do it ethically or try to do it unethically or whatever the heck, right? The product itself is the exploitation. Meanwhile, with mining cobalt or mining coal, there is two paths here, right? You can do it the ethical path or you can do the unethical path. So even though right now we're in a problematic position where, you know, there's this capitalism thing going on and whatever, whatnot, right? In the future, it could totally be the case where, you know, you can mine cobalt and coal in a completely ethical, you know, manner and throughout the world, right? But the point is the product. The point is not the method. The point is the product, right?
Yeah, I guess like I don't disagree, but I just think that you guys should like my fucking stream. Come on, there's way more of you here than likes. Come on, let's go. I just think that I just think that like this is an argument. I think that it's ultimately going to miss with a ton of people because there's a much more simple answer that you don't have to work very hard for that's going to appeal to almost everybody and everybody's going to instantly understand. So that's why I think it's when you make such a like a complex argument when you're talking about like, well, this is the product that like and whereas this is on this one and then the product of this is the exploitation. I think this is just going to like miss a lot of people. Like they're not gonna like really grasp what you're talking about. Where you can just say that when you harm a child, it's going to be worse than when you harm an adult because there's gonna have long lasting effects and it's gonna disrupt like the human that they ought to be able to have the chance to become. And this is gonna resonate with almost everybody. Even the people who are gonna get the other example are gonna get this, and everybody will agree. And when you do the other example, it's almost like you're dismissing this part that's like super obvious to everybody. So I just think, I don't know why anybody would take that route when the first one's like very sufficient.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the product because usually when people kind of compare these two, right? Like when Vaush compared these two, comparing like the mining of cobalt versus like the production of CP, right? I understand where you're coming from. Like I understand your the analogy, right? The analogy is in place because both of them feature widespread child exploitation, right?
Yeah,
But
usually at like a pretty significant harm to them one way or the other. But like people don't actually care about the kids that are like mining cobalt for the same reason why people look the other way when somebody's spanking their kid. They don't give a shit. It's not my kid, I don't care.
Okay, hold on. But you
if
have
they're fucking
to know.
Them now, everybody cares because we should.
Hold on. No, that's not the point. The point is that you're talking about more along the lines of what Vaush was trying to get across, because you know I know his take, right? His take is that people act hypocritically, right?
Yeah.
That is his point, is that people act hypocritically. I don't disagree with you there, okay? I also don't disagree with you on the matter of, fucking up the kids', growth and development, right? I understand both of these.
Yeah,
right?
I think you agree with me.
So I don't disagree with you. Yes,
I just think that the other point...
But you also, but you also have to, understand that the entire, the reason why people look at this example really weirdly is because it seems as though lots of people who make this hypothetical are misunderstanding how people are interpreting it, or they are saying it in a way where it seems way too inflammatory and people shut down their brains the moment they hear about it, right? Because in my opinion, if you say a hypothetical in a way where it is just simply feels very inflammatory and it is no longer in a way where you're trying to be self-aware of how people perceive you, then people won't go out of their way to make that extra effort to understand you most of the time, right?
I just think it's a bad
I guess
argument.
it's part of the problem.
Vaush is basically saying because sometimes immoral things happen, there's no such thing as like morality that we've all agreed to. So you can actually do anything you want and it's not really bad if you're going to be okay with sometimes bad things happening. But like, it's just the Peter Singer example. Like people, like if you don't stop a kid from drowning in a fountain because you have new shoes on and you don't want to ruin your shoes, you're a fucking monster. But if you don't give $1.20 to UNICEF every month to make sure that like 5 kids get fed for a whole month off your $1.20 some fucking how, you're fine. Nobody gives a shit. Technically, you could be saving 5 of those kids' lives, and it's chill. Nobody cares. Nobody's gonna judge you for it. But if you watch that girl drown in the fountain, you're literally the worst person ever. And like pretty much everybody agrees with this. Morality is, unfortunately, the human mind only has the capacity to really assess it locally. And to suggest that it exists otherwise is insane, because like Peter Singer is one of like maybe 20 people that actually like gives almost all their extra money away because like he's actually like that hardcore of a utilitarian. But yeah, we just don't actually believe that. Nobody functions that way. And so Vaush is full of shit. Because otherwise he should be giving a bunch of his money away to feed those kids.
I mean, it's more like he's trying to point something out, right? Like versus like himself doing something substantial.
Right, he is trying to point something out, but I'm saying it's a bad, easily defeatable argument. So he shouldn't be making it. Like you're risking a lot for a bad argument.
Well, like I said again, I have no love for Vaush, right? I have no, kind of aptitude to appeal to him whatsoever, right? And I don't, you know my history. Oh God, oh fuck, right? Like you also know that I went through my own drama about this, right?
Yeah.
So you understand that I come from a place of understanding as well.
I was really sympathetic towards you, but I didn't. Because I just wanted to be sympathetic. I just wanted to be like, just shut up for like a day and you'll be good. It would be better. But like you came out pretty good. So good on you.
Vaush, sorry.
Actually,
who are you talking? Wait, who are you talking about?
I was saying
sorry.
You. Like I think like you said like you have like
Okay.
you're passing that. I was like I think you ultimately did pretty good. I actually used you as an example. Somebody was talking about how like people are just sort of like writing, like all of Vaush fans are writing this stuff off. And I was like, Foodshops actually just like doesn't deny anything. People call you a pedo. Mr. Girl is actually the most informative person in this space by miles on like giving people information to prevent child abuse. And he's a pedophile. Vaush loves horse cock and lolly and lies about it. Somehow, he's just weird. He's just a quirky guy. It's fucking insane. All it has to do is with the size of the audience that likes you prior to like the thing that people will get mad about happening. That's all that matters. There's no real morality at play here. There's no moral evaluation happening.
I mean, here's the thing you have to understand, right? Like it's not just like sure I came out of this in some sense, but it's really hard for me to like build bridges, right? Because people's minds are instantly kind of I guess like they're fed clips, right? They're fed clips, they're fed all kinds of things in the background. So when it comes to further growth, that has been hard, right? Because there's this kind of like bad reputation of me, obviously. And I'm gonna say this, right, is that I've been self-destructive, right, during that entire cycle because I was new to the internet in some sense, right?
It's a tough spot
so
for people
I didn't
to
know
be
how
in
to
that even
navigate
aren't.
myself.
It's a tough spot for people to be in who even aren't new. Like, say, Tom. I don't think that anything that I heard covered was like any that big of a deal. It just seems like a bunch of high school drama bullshit, unless I've missed something. That like if this happened in real life, nobody'd give a shit. But like he kept it alive a lot and he kept talking about it. But like at the same time, like I feel like I have to be missing something because I just don't get it. Otherwise, that's all it is. It's just that when you have a lot of people going after you, all you want to do is just be like, no, it's not like that. And like just trying to make how you think and feel about it in your head available to other people, but it's never going to work because they've already made up their mind.
Sure, but I'm saying that they don't really do much favors for themselves if they aren't really, receptive to how like the outside world kind of perceives them, right? Like this kind of stuff is so fucking radioactive.
Yeah.
You have to like when I think about this stuff, I'm just like, bro, there ain't no way anybody outside of the internet is going to, not even people inside the internet, because you see people like Bo Blacks, you see people like Lyrics probably, right? Who
Bobex is a person?
Sorry?
I thought Bobex was just a tweet reading AI. Not gonna lie.
Oh, yes, actually, yes, true. Based. The thing
Vito
is
says.
that like
Will says. Okay, that's a
What?
person now.
Huh?
Like that's. I just watched one of their videos the other day, and the entire content is like I'm just like looking at my Twitter feed.
Oh,
Like Portland is burning
yeah,
says. Not so erudite says. Glenn he
yeah,
him says. It's just what the fuck. So yeah, I guess that's a
yeah.
person too.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of like fucking waffling. I don't like. The thing is that dude, it's just this kind of stuff is just too hard to talk. Like the best way if you want to kind of churn yourself through the drama is to just go like, hey, I consume lolly. It's a little embarrassing, but hey, I don't think it's a big deal. I'm not a pedophile, and you just move on. That's it. That's literally it. Okay. But the more it seems as though the more you try to defend this stuff, the worse it gets, right? Because it didn't need to be this bad if you didn't make a second stream about it or something, or a third stream, or a fourth stream, or a fifth stream, right? It's about the spiraling. It's not about the initial reveal anymore. It's about the spiraling, right?
Yeah, I think you figured out that kind of leaning into it is probably just like the best thing to do at this point. Because I've seen you make like jokes here and there.
Oh God.
Like you don't dive head first to it, but you lean into it here and there. I respect that.
Okay. Sure, but the thing is that like in a way that's even considered self-destructive, right? Because even then the people are going to perceive your jokes as way too much, and they're going to go, you know what, we're not going to build a bridge with you anymore because your jokes, this is something you should not be joking about.
They already
right?
had their mind made up. Do you ever see Game of Thrones?
No.
In the first season, this dwarf tells this bastard, he says, wear it as your armor, bastard. Never let him use, if you embrace it, basically like nobody can use it to hurt you. Him being a bastard. So like it's true. Like the people who are going to disconnect from you because of that shit, like you leaning into it here and there isn't gonna make like they're not on the fence. Like, all right, you know what? That was the third joke this week. Like I'm done. Nope, that's never gonna happen. They've already made up mind up one way or another. And at least this way, when stuff comes, you can have a little fun with it. I've seen you. Like you said, like my past. Oh no, like yeah, that's the right way to go about it. I like that. Because you're not hiding away from anything, and you're having a little bit of fun with it without being like and you're not freaking out about it. It was good.
Yeah, I think one of the most important things that I feel as though have disconnected me, right, is that when I entered the space, I kind of touted myself as a kind of person who is self-aware, right?
Yes, by the way, I'm just gonna get some water. Keep talking. I'm listening.
Okay, yeah. I have 1 foot outside, and I have 1 foot, in the internet, right? The thing is that so weird having you not there, Jesus. It's so weird.
I'm just writing the next word.
What the fuck? Okay, all right. But like, I feel as though I've lost touch with that eventually. Mainly because I spent too much time on the internet, and part of that is also because I've been, slaving away doing content creation for so long. But I know that at some point, it really, shit really hit the fan during the November drama, right?
Yeah.
That stuff was the one that was really bad. Because I thought I was going to stop content creation. I thought that, so many people are burning bridges with me. It's fucking Jover, right? And a lot of it was of my own doing because I felt as though that if I just manage to explain enough, I can make people understand, right? But now in retrospect, it feels as though that some people are never just going to understand. And I think it's much more about that, more about like how I move forward versus like how I address the issue, right? Because if I keep on addressing the issue, people will just keep on pointing out inconsistencies and whatever, right? Especially people like Zonia, Queeman.
Queeman asked me to ask you a question, and just out of respect, I figured I would throw it out there before I asked it.
Oh, sure, yeah.
He said to ask about the POCD prescription, please, because it got brought up on the other stream. It seemed like you did a poor job of explaining something that just because like I think when they heard that, when I heard they're like, well, that can't be like that.
Oh God, yeah. Sure. So
was that just like a flounder in the moment, like just trying to like say something to like fix it while you're just like trying to figure out how to explain it, or was that just like a purely defensive thing, or is this like a poorly explained like real thing?
Listen, this is probably gonna end up on a Queeman stream. So hi, Queeman. Hello. All right. Or any kind of stream, or Beckett, or whatever the fuck, right? So hi, greetings. Okay.
I wasn't.
But
This isn't my intention either. But I asked first.
No. They wanted a whole moment where, Elder Drazi confronts food shops about the old November drama or whatever the fuck, right? I can even see Plo in the chat.
I will be shirtless in the thumbnail. I promise.
Sure. So that stuff was it was worded really badly. There is a point there that I wanted to really get across. And that point has a good way of, going about it, right?
Sure.
But because my mind was so fucked in that moment, I feel as though that like there's no way I could actually kind of accurately describe what it is that I wanted to talk about, right? And that is the POCD, that is the OCD, right? Because the moment people hear the word pedophilic, their minds shut off, it's over, right?
I mean, look, I'm like one of the biggest Mr. Girl fans. I loved the POCD interview that he had. I thought it was extremely interesting. You know what? For some people, it might not be a good thing, but I think that it just means that I am going to be more informed about these things than the average person is.
Sure.
And so the thing that I think that is being asked here is that it seemed like you suggested that your therapist said you should watch.
Oh God! Why can't I bring this up when I'm debating Brianna Wu? What the fuck?
Do you want to talk to Brianna Wu about that?
Oh, we have a scheduled debate on February 20th. So it's me, SFO, versus Brianna Wu and Wick on Lolly.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know.
Wait,
pretty
it's 2v1?
high shit. Yeah, I know. 2v2. So me and Surefat Taku versus
All right.
Yeah, versus Brianna Wu and Wick. Yeah.
Okay, so are you saying like you're saving your response to that for that conversation, or I just make sure I understand.
I mean, like I can give it to you, but the thing is like,
I don't need an answer here.
Here's the thing.
I'm interested if you want to tell me. I'm not trying to strong arm you. Is all I'm saying. You can always say I don't want to answer you with anything. I don't give a shit.
Wait, why can't Queeman enter himself? What the heck? Why does he always have to send his like little like rats like scurrying around?
I mean, he brought it. It got brought up on the stream I was just on, and I did say like, yeah, that didn't seem like it was like correct. I think that was probably not true, but like I also understand that like there's a thing that happens in this space where sometimes people have like a bunch of guns pointed at their head, and I can't take what that person says. Like I don't hold them to that right then because you're drowning. And you're just looking for something to grab onto. In the rare, like I'm like autistically insane when it comes to lying. I don't lie to people. In my life, like the closest thing I'll do to like lying is like, all right, I gotta go to the store and get some groceries. If I'm just like going to like the restaurant down the road to pick up food, it's just like an easier thing to explain because I'll spend like 5 minutes explaining other stuff if I don't just say groceries. But like to like my stream, but like I can't. But like when I have lied, it's because like I'm under so much pressure, something just comes out of my mouth, and I'm just like, that's not true. And I go and tell the other person as soon as like I'm not having a panic. Like I don't know why I said that. This is the actual truth, and it's almost always something that makes me look worse. I don't know. So I think that sometimes that happens to people. So I'm always willing to grant that kind of like. I personally am willing to grant that because I think that some people are never willing to do that. But if it's that kind of thing, then like sure. I don't know if it is, but if it is, then yeah, I think that if you do want to answer, what was the actual like prescription to that?
You have to understand.
Oh, cool. Go ahead. I just don't
Okay.
want to. I don't
How
want
about
to
this?
feel. I
How
don't
about
want
this?
either
How
of
about
us
this?
feeling
How about
I'm
this?
bullying
Now
you.
is not the time. Now is not the time. Okay.
Yeah.
But I will. Maybe I'll consider going over it. In the Brianna Wu debate, right? You know. But the thing is that both of I should have never conflated the lolly stuff with POCD ever. Because now that when I'm thinking in retrospect, right, I do have OCD, right? And I also do have POCD. But the thing
I was
is that
misdiagnosed
like
OCD.
that
I have
is
obsessive compulsive tendencies, so I don't have enough. I don't check enough boxes, but like, it's enough to where like I basically have OCD. And do you have actual OCD?
yes,
Okay.
I do.
Do you,
Yeah.
do you hate it when you tell people? Because like it was like the last 2 years that I found out that like technically I have obsessive compulsive tendencies. And when I tell people that I had OCD, because that's what I was told for a long time, they go, "Oh yeah, I think I have that a little bit too." And then they tell me about a habit that they have, and I want to blow my fucking brains out in a video game. Do you get that? Do you have people tell you every time you tell them that you have OCD, where they describe their habits and tell you that they also have that a little bit too? Like every single fucking person ever. And it's that you're like, oh, I get it. You're just never going to empathize with anything, and you're just be like, you're just being fucking weird for no reason, and I'm gonna judge you because I have to clean my house. I have a little bit of what you have. No, it's not that. I just didn't know
Drazi,
if you
that
had that
sounds
shit
unhinged.
experience.
I have no idea what you just said, but that sounds unhinged. Okay, I just want to let you know that I have no idea what you just said. Okay,
When I tell people I have
for
OCD, they always say me too a little bit, and I think it drives me fucking insane. And I don't know other people that have actual OCD. It's so I hate that with a passion. So I didn't know if you experienced it, and if you did, we could have shared a moment in our shared frustration with people.
Oh yes,
blatantly not
I can share
understanding
that
OCD.
frustration. No. I can share that frustration because I know that when I go out of my way to talk about OCD, you know, my experiences with OCD and whatnot, right? I know that when people say, "Oh yeah, I'm a little bit OCD," as well, right? I'm like, no, I have real OCD, not TikTok OCD, right? The thing is that uh, people have kind of contorted and mutated the word OCD because now to them it just means clean room, clean kitchen, right? Meanwhile, in real OCD, there can totally be this kind of compulsion to clean your room. There can be a ritual to clean your room, right? But it's a very very tiny part of OCD because the primary part of OCD is the rituals, is the compulsions, it is the obsessions, right? It is the ruminations, right? That is the real part of it. And while I do agree with your frustration, I sort of given up on trying to convince people that it's like otherwise, right? Because for me, it's like, you know, people are just going to believe what they want to believe. And, you know, if people asking about me, if people ask me about like what it is and, you know, whatnot, then yeah, sure. I'll tell them about like what real OCD is, but you know, it is what it is.
Just for bonding experience, do you have any, like, I have really crazy ones that just make no sense. People, if I notice that my thumbnail and the skin on my thumb are touching, I have to pull them apart. So that if I'm not thinking about, as soon as I notice though, I have to, for like, just until they're both super uncomfortable and I just don't notice anymore.
Yeah.
That's what OCD like can tend to look like. There could also be like the touching things. When I was a kid, I had the touching things.
Yeah, it can manifest in many different forms. One particular OCD that manifested for me was the compulsion to tell the truth, right? And
that's probably,
okay, I know this.
That's probably
this
part
is,
of it.
This is gonna sound really funny, right? But when I was growing up, I didn't know that I had like a confession compulsion. What it means is that I ruminate about being a liar. I ruminate about being, you know, a bad person. I ruminate about, you know, not being the most truthful person out there. So again, you ruminate thoughts about how much of a bad person you are, how much of a X person you are, right?
Do you
but
ruminate
then,
about
what is the
accidentally
ritual,
manipulating
right?
people?
Yes.
That's
But
so bad for me.
Sure. The ritual, right? The ritual is telling the truth, right? Is putting all the information out there, whatnot, right? And then once the relief comes, after the relief is over, that's only going to be short. Because you're perpetuating the cycle, you're looping, right? That's the whole point of the OCD loops, is that you loop on it, right? Eventually, the anxiety builds up again, the thoughts come back, and then you go, oh shit, I'm a bad person again. And then you just want to do the rituals and compulsions and ruminating over and over again to get that short-term relief. And then you get anxiety again, short-term relief, anxiety, short-term relief, anxiety, short-term relief. It repeats over and over again. Now put somebody like that on the internet, bam, they turn into a locale, right? Like that's what happens. So
Yeah, you just
it is what it is.
I just want to say
Yep.
thanks. I have never ever once considered the fact that, like I said, like I'm like actually autistically levels of like crazy about telling the truth. I never connected that to like my obsessive compulsive tendencies at all. That makes absolute perfect sense, because I'll like, if I think that telling the truth is gonna like make somebody feel kind of way, like it's like inherently manipulative, even though it's the truth.
Yeah.
I'll like freak out about it for 2 weeks and then end up saying exactly what I think or how I feel, and then I'll feel better, and then I'll freak out that somehow me telling the truth. You just described like a big problem for me that I never connected to, a thing that I'm very aware of. Thank you. It's
Yeah, no problem.
oh my
Yeah.
god,
Okay.
I'm
The thing
retarded,
is,
dude.
right? I know. The thing is, and then a lot of people on the internet will call it like autistic or whatever the fuck, right? But it's not actually autism. It's not. It's like it really is just OCD tendencies. That's what people are actually looking for.
Oh yeah, I just say that
Another
because I have
thing,
no way to explain to
yeah.
people how severe the like I can't deal with people close to me lying to me at all. Like I will
Yep.
have a total mental breakdown basically, and I can't lie to people, like at least not on purpose. I freak out. So like
Yeah, you spiral. Yeah, you spiral because
really bad.
yeah. You spiral really bad, and that is the rumination. You're describing rumination. When you're ruminating, you're spiraling, and
Oh
when
yeah,
you're
yeah.
spiraling, you're
I'm
ruminating. Yeah.
usually ruminating when I'm keeping something into, because that's almost like lying.
Yeah, because you feel like you are lying by omission, right? Because
Yeah, but it's not as bad, but it still sucks a lot.
No, it doesn't. It shouldn't diminish your. Hey, Lisa's a blogger. Welcome to chat. All right, that's my favorite spicy chat right there.
Oh,
Okay.
yes. Hey, Lisa.
Yeah.
Lisa's a homie.
Lisa really is a homie. I really like her videos. Yeah. So the thing is that some people, I understand, right? Because I know that at some point, I know Emery is in your chat, right? At some point,
Probably.
Emery told me to get off the internet. You weren't really built for the internet. In a way, that's kind of correct, isn't it? Because people with OCD are just naturally at a disadvantage on the internet, because just look at Enivore, right?
Yeah.
This is somebody who loops. I basically related to Enivore on that, the looping part, right? And
just
I'm sure
vouched for
anybody
you.
with OCD, huh? Sorry.
Well, Emery kind of went to bat for you on my stream last week. Just so you know.
By everybody, who do you mean?
Emery.
Oh, Emery. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so I think
All
that
right.
when they
Well,
said that you need to get offline, I think that was my general like empathetic concern, because like he called a bunch of people out for not interacting with you on my stream.
oh, yeah. I mean, I'm radioactive, right? And you have to understand, like, it's just so understandable. I just like at the moment in November, I just could not wrap my mind around why I'm so problematic. Clearly, I'm a good person, blah, 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 right? Because in my mind, obviously, I'm going, oh my God, I'm a good person. I have good takes. I have whatever, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, now I understand, from the outside perspective, when people look at me, all they see is a pedophile. So it's like, I don't know what else to do there, right? The best thing I can do is to show people that I'm self-aware, right? Because I want to be able to show people, hey, by the way, I understand what you're saying. Okay. All right. But at the same time, that doesn't mean I'm going to give up on my principles, and one of the principles that I feel like I would really want to vouch for, as a content creator, is that I'm a truth sayer. Okay. And it's baked into my personality. And the thing is that, however long I had that OCD, maybe some part of that is my personality. Maybe some part of that personality is my OCD. I try not to think about it way too much. Right.
I don't
Because
think
explaining my
it doesn't
Yeah,
define you, and you're not defined by it. You're just you. And these are just some of the issues that you deal with, right?
yeah, exactly. The thing is, at the end, it's just
Sorry to be so cathartic. I thought that what we shared with our mental health issues was nice. Very rare interaction
thank you.
online.
Yeah. So yeah, for me at least, it's like the truth telling aspect, intersects with all the dark secrets I have. So then when I'm put in front of the internet and I am confronted with a bunch of stuff, it just kicks in, right? The OCD aspect just kicks in.
Sure.
And it's not the OCD aspect, because even by that time, I feel like I've had my OCD under control, right? But it's mainly because a part of my personality, I feel as though, was influenced by my upbringing, my OCD, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I feel as though it's so integral to me as a human being that it sort of fucked me over. It sort of fucked me over, and it's still fucking me over, even now. I have no doubt that, on February 20th, there's a non-zero chance that Wick and Brianna Wu is farming me, There's a non-zero chance that they're going to preach at me. There's a non-zero chance that they're going to clip things out of context for progressive victory, right? There's a non-zero chance for any of that. And, in a way, sorry?
I liked how you worded that, for progressive victory.
No, I'm just telling the truth, right? I'm not
Yeah, it's
lying
just a fun
here,
way to
you know
word
what
it.
I mean?
That's all.
Yeah.
I liked that.
Wait, what better optically is to have Brianna Wu slam dunking another transgender person who is a pedophile, right? Like that is so optically good if the messaging is like presented that way, right? That's so
By
good.
my ethics,
right?
I would say that it's a terrible thing to do, but sure.
Yeah, but who cares about ethics in that matter, right? Because nobody's going to be on my side. Like, I don't know what else to say, right? It's just, it is what it is. But the reason I'm doing it is because, again, like, it's for content, right? Because I think it's good content. The thing is that, I don't even, at this point, I don't even need to go back to Wick Circle, even when I think about it, because I'm doing just fine covering drama shit, right? So
Yeah.
I feel as though that's not really a big deal, whether or not I do it, but at the end of the day, might as well give the internet its content.
You
So
think you can
it
beat
is what it is.
Brianna Wu? I debated Brianna Wu once. I think it went really well.
Oh, yeah,
She
that's cool.
conceded
That's
that she
good.
learned a lot from me on Chud's stream, and Chud got really pissy when she brought me up. So, like, that at least was a win in and of itself.
Yeah. It's just, I understand now, but I understood too late. It's just I'm a little sad. I am a little sad about that. Yeah, it is what it is, though. Yeah.
I don't know if you're public with it. If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 24.
Okay, that might just be the thing. Like you said, like the dark things about yourself. Like, I feel like all the things that, like, I've made so many changes, like all the like really shitty things that I've done and stuff are like so far into my past that, like, if somebody brings them up, like, it just doesn't impact me because it's not reflective of me anymore. So, like, I have like a pretty good distance. If somebody's coming, I'll talk about it. I don't give a shit. Like, I used to be a
Yeah.
drug addict, all kinds of like negative things in my past, but like, I don't give a shit. That's not me anymore.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. You haven't really had like a chance to, like, if there's like anything that people bring up, like, it can't have been that long ago. That's rough.
Yeah, because when people bring it up, it is something that happened within the last 4 months, 3 months, or something like that. Yeah, because I know that there are people out there saying, I go through these lolly loops or whatever the fuck, right? Looping about lolicon or whatever.
Sure.
But I think it's only recently that, I'm looking at it, like, literally a few days ago, where I'm looking at it from a perspective of, like,
The
bro,
situation?
this looks really bad. I just get it. Huh?
Okay.
Hmm?
Just making sure. You said when I'm looking at, I'm like, you're talking about the situation. And then you said, "Oh, this
Oh.
looks really bad." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, okay." I get
No,
you.
no, at my own drama, right?
Yeah.
Because when you're fucking, like, going full autism mode and then having all of these, like, OCD shit compounded, upon it, you lose a lot of attachment to reality. And I feel as though whenever people double down, whenever people triple down on these internet dramas, like people are wondering, hey, why the fuck is, Tom kind of like tripling down or quadrupling down or whatever the fuck, right? It's like you have to know that when you're on self-defense mode, when you're on, autism mode, right? And he even has OCD, right? Even Tom has OCD.
Does he?
Well, I don't even know if that's a true fact anymore at this point,
Yeah,
because
whenever somebody
I
says
don't
that,
know,
I need to confirm. Like, do they really? Like, I don't know. Everybody says they do.
Yeah,
And it's upsetting.
yeah.
And actually, I asked to talk to you because I wanted to talk about the Tom stuff because
Yes. Let's talk about that. Yeah.
one minute. I just realized I didn't update you into my title at all.
No problem.
So it seems like to me that all of it, like 100% of this stuff, with all of it except for one thing, is the equivalent of like things that would matter to people if they're in high school. And otherwise, it's kind of like insane that adults would argue about these things and make like really strong moral claims about things that are like pretty private, and like it wasn't really up to Tom that they became not private. It's just like low tier relationship drama, but like not even real relationships, like it's online. Like it feels like there's like two big things that people are mad at him now, because like what the fuck's her name, the Kelly Jean stuff, that's past. Now all we care about is that like he cheated on one of his e-girlfriends with like somebody that's suspected to be his e-girlfriend. Like that's like one of the big things, and the other big thing is that like the thing with the nude, it seems like he leaked by mistake, and then like he didn't like tell the other person right away because he's like freaked out about it. That's the only thing that I think that like has any weight to it at all. But also it's just like, hey, that sucked. You could be mad about it, but like just don't do it again. Like it seems like if that's what happened, then it was probably a mistake and he handled the mistake poorly. But like, why do we want to crucify somebody for that? I don't get. Am I missing something? Oh, hey Cam,
Sure.
thank you.
So the big deal is this, right? Is that I think all of this blew up because he didn't want to just admit that he was just being weird, right? And while from the outside perspective, if you just simply consumed his news content, I don't think you would exactly like I don't know. It just doesn't seem like that big of a deal, sure. But I think it's only to his community that it's like a big deal, because first of all, they don't want to see him self-destruct. That's number one thing, because they care about him, right? And number two is also that it is content in the sense of like watching him doubling and tripling down is just funny, right?
Yeah,
Which is sad, right? Which is sad, but it is what it is, right? It's
well,
the
it's sad,
internet.
but
But
I
the
don't
thing
think it's
is,
sad for the reason you're saying. The idea that he's self-destructing, like, Tom, we're gonna keep on attacking you. You need to stop responding when we attack you, or you're self-destructing. Tom, why are you self-destructing? Stop it. Stop self-destructing, Tom. Like, it's other people doing it. He's not really just doing it to himself. He's given an explanation that seems like reasonable enough. And there's when he said that the nude wasn't Mantis's, like, if you're gonna lie, that's a good lie to tell, at least. Like, if you have to lie at some point, you want to lie and say it's not them, so that way people don't see it and associate it with them. He's trying to do damage control. I would assume he's trying to do damage control, so that way she's not put in, like, this terrible position where people have her nude and also know that it's hers. Like, that seems like one of the best reasons to lie I could ever think of. And so, like, you're saying, like, you're a liar, but, like, yeah, but, like,
okay.
isn't he
But
worse
that
if he-
part about but the part about comparing Mantis's nude to a trans person was pretty insane, right? That was pretty nuts.
The explanation
right?
was really, really, really weird. It has to be the case that he did have
All right.
that he did recently. He's seen a video of that, because like he couldn't have just scripted that on the spot, right? He just had to like pull like a recent brain file to report that, like on the spot, because he's under pressure. If he like wrote that on the spot, like that's so specific and weird. But I have to assume that.
Yeah. here's
He
the
could
thing
have just
about
said, "I
Tom.
don't know who that is."
Here's the thing: is that I don't know if Tom has ever went through like a drama this big for him. Do you think he has? I don't know Tom. I don't know Tom's
Can you repeat the
history.
question again? Do I think he has what?
Like in his content creation, right? Like, has he ever, went through another drama like as big as this one?
I don't think so. Well, but I don't think that there has been as big of a response to any drama that he's been in.
Okay. Um,
So I just think it's the thing
I
of
think
there's too
that
many people putting a gun in his head.
yeah, I understand that, but I think the most important part, right, is that people kind of bought into his character because he's genuine. People bought into him as a person because he says, "Oh yeah, I was once a federal prison convict. All these stories happened to me." He says at least some part of his past, right? Egghead says it's also bad because people like sass, which is also true, right?
Yeah, I actually
Um,
talked to him about that. Like we had like a
People feel like they're lied to.
ex-addict conversation. He came very, very genuine to me. Yeah, but where's the if the disingenuousness is just him trying to like cover for Mantis so that everybody doesn't know that they're looking at her naked body, like um this would be what I would consider to be a noble lie. And like for somebody who hates lying like me, I might even think that my punishment is that I have to lie for that, even though it's gonna fucking destroy me. Like my mistake, I have to fall on the sword now, and I'm gonna have fucking panic attacks about having lied about it.
Well, hold on, right? Because part of it is also leading on Sassafras to get her work while you're having like romantic relations with, Mantis, right? Like that's also part of it. No?
Well, is it confirmed that him and Sass are like e-dating too? Like this, part of it
I
for
think
me is that I can't take the whole e-dating thing seriously.
yeah, I understand, but the thing is that lots of people like Sass, and
Sure.
Sass also, from her perspective, I would assume she had like kind of romantic feelings towards Tom, right? And
Sure, but does there
then
have to be a bad guy when things like that don't work out?
no, I think it's important to humanize Tom, right?
Yeah.
But when other people are not, right? This is why, like, even though I've been really critical of Tom, um, at the same time, I've also been vouching for the good parts of his character. No, right?
Yeah, I
So
think so. But from what
yeah,
I've only seen like bits and pieces. Um, but it seems like it, yeah.
yeah, yeah. But here's the thing: I still don't want Tom to be canceled, even though technically anybody who kind of criticized him joined into, the Tom dogpiling, in some sense of the word. Um,
There's a
but
lot of that. Yeah.
his career was on the fucking upswing.
Oh
Um,
yeah, he'd been doing pretty good.
yeah.
I generally liked his streams, and like I look at his top and be like, this motherfucker went for 8 hours on this nothing. Oh my god. Yeah, like he's got a pretty good talent for it, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's part of what blows me away is that this seems like just such a strong reaction to something that like probably should have just been between him and the people involved, with the exception of the nude leak, which was inherently not private anymore due to his own mistake. Um, but yeah, I just find it the real crime to me here, like of everything. Like, the nude thing is bad. But it also seems like a mistake. I don't think he did it maliciously. I don't think anybody's suggesting that he did it maliciously. Just that his lie about it was fucking is dumb. But the idea that somebody could have this career built up and then have it damaged this much over like online relationship stuff is just like really weird when he's not doing anything like I don't see anything that would be like indicative of like malicious intentional abuse or anything like that. So people got their feelings hurt, but it seems like they got their feelings hurt by circumstance, not because he's being like negligent or anything. It even seemed like he was aware that she was having bad feelings and was like trying to do his best to like navigate it. But like people are bad at that and they're awkward at it, and people sometimes get their feelings. So it doesn't mean you're a bad person or that you did anything wrong. It just means that sometimes we suck at relationship dynamics.
Sure. But I would say that as an adult, you should learn how to be better, I guess. But the thing is this, right, is that I have sympathy for anybody who is in the getting dogpiled seat, right? Like if you're getting dogpiled, I have a lot of sympathy for you because I understand what the position for that is coming from, right? So yeah. But it's still like yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about all of this. It is good content, though. I'll admit.
Well,
that
am I
part.
missing something? Is there something bigger that like just keeps flying under the radar for
There
me?
isn't.
I missed.
No.
Okay, well then, like, Jesus fucking Christ! Like, I get like, I don't do a lot of drama content, but like, I still watch this shit. I still am just as indulgent with the trashy streaming Jerry Springer shit as everybody else is. I just typically don't engage too heavily with it in my content. So like I'm not saying that like I'm not interested in it or anything like that. And so like my views play into it to a degree, but like I think that this one is like some of the weakest drama that I've seen, but it's having such a disproportionate impact on the person who's like being called the bad guy in it versus like the crime. Like I just feel like the crime isn't matching the punishment here, and we have content creators who are like condemning him and like trying to hold him to like a standard of like I just feel like it's just because you know about this doesn't mean it's like anybody, like people know about this, but it doesn't mean it's their business. Like this is something that just feels like probably should still just be like people are going to talk about it, but I don't think that means that Tom needs to answer for like almost any of this other than the nude leak.
Sure. But again, it seems as though there's a lot of tension building up in the background. And
yeah, that's why I feel
people
like I
came
have to be
forward
missing
finally
something.
at last.
I said that's why it feels like I must be missing something because the amount of tension. So like, this is a great way to put it. So like, there's the tension here. Like this rope here is very, very tense. But then I look at the weight on it, and it's got a little fishing lure at the end. I'm like, well, what the fuck? How is the rope this fucking tense when there's no weight here? Meanwhile, we have like real drama things that have happened in this space where people have done like unspeakable things. But even you look at Vaush. I feel like Vaush is like his per capita subscriber loss is nothing compared to like what Tom's suffering from, and I just think it's crazy. I just I just like we have this space and we can kind of like make up the rules for it as we see fit, and like if this is the rules that we're gonna go by, I think we're fucking up.
I think it's like one thing leads to another. Normally, in a regular real world scenario, right?
Yeah.
You're not really feeling like the weight of the internet or the weight of your peers bearing down on you with the intent of creating content out of it, right? In the real world, because there's none of that. Oh my God.
Yeah,
this
that's why it's like high
disconnect of
school.
like yeah. So because like in real life, there's this disconnect of oh yeah, this is a person in real life, and I can see his face, and I can feel sympathetic towards him, right? Now it feels like on the internet, where if you do something even slightly wrong or slightly weird or whatever the fuck, right? That can have the potential to blow up into something big. Just look at the Vaush, folder leak, right?
Yeah, but I think that's a way bigger deal.
Yeah, sure, but I'm just drawing an analogy here,
Sure.
right? The thing is that people when they smell blood in the water, the content sharks are going to be all over it. They're going to be logging everything you say, and once you have like an inconsistency, they'll point it out and say, hey, see, this person's a liar, right? I can acknowledge that there can totally be a human, kind of reason why Tom lied. For example, he felt cornered, he felt trapped, he felt like there was no way out, so the ultimate defense mechanism was lying, right? And then finally, when that lying gets pointed out, then that is when things really hit the fan, because it now just sounds like, he's been lying this entire time. Now suddenly all of its old stuff got brought up again, right? The thing is that whatever's happening in the background could have just happened in the background, regardless, right? But it does seem to be, but that doesn't mean that we should sort of put aside the concerns of anybody who is kind of in the background also suffering, who was trying to get out with information, right? The concerns is like sassafras, right?
Yeah, but so what did he do to her?
So from what I understand, the lines between in the relationship between him and her have been blurred. It is kind of a one-way romantic relationship for a really long time, and it seems as though, at least if I have to put it really simply, Tom was leading Sassafras on for her producer work. I think that is the current prevailing narrative, right? The thing is that there's some holes here and there. There might be some other stuff here and there, but otherwise it seems rather not really denied, in my eyes either.
My understanding of a one-way romantic
there's some
relationship is that
there's some good evidence for that too. Yeah, what's up?
It would depend on the degree in which he's like maliciously taking advantage of it, right? And I don't think I've heard anything that would show that like Tom, like it seemed like Tom cared about her. He might have understood that she had some feelings, but he also had like clear boundaries as well. And so like that's kind of on her if she wants to stay in that. Like was he supposed to be like, well, sorry, obviously you're too into me, so I'm gonna like relieve you of your duty? And like I'm sure that would be like horrible for like, is he just fucked because she has feelings? Like he'd be fucked if he did that too. Like there's no really right answer for him then. Like all of a sudden because she develops feelings, like he's gonna be a bad guy, right?
And
I'm not saying she's a bad person either, but like it seems like she's more of a victim of circumstance rather than like Tom.
I mean, again, we don't know the whole picture of their relationship. I don't think.
Sure, this is based on available information. Okay? Based on available information.
This is based on available information. Yes. Like for example, one of the DMs that have sort of came out was Sassafras saying, oh, hey, are you dating Mantis or not? That is basically the entirety of what it was trying to convey, right? It seems to imply that there is some degree of expectation of exclusivity between Tom and Sassafras, right? So
it's at least an implication of jealousy, but that's not really on him to satiate either, right?
I mean, sure, right? But the thing is that, like, I guess the question I have is, would Sassafras be working for Tom if Sassafras had no feelings towards Tom, or felt like, she felt belonged to Tom, or in some sense of the word?
Yeah, but that could be 100%. It seems like, from the information I have, is that that's just sort of something that, like, she's working through, and it's not really, like, he's not... is there any evidence to suggest that like he's making her think that there's something romantic between them, or that it seemed like the language that he used in the leaks were like pretty carefully designed to like acknowledge her feelings while also maintaining a healthy boundary, which is like honestly pretty impressive by most people's standards in this space. I expect most people to just like straight up take advantage of that shit, and it seemed like he was trying his best to like hold a pretty adult boundary there, saying like I understand how you feel. But like we're not dating is the vibe that I got. But like a sympathetic, I understand how you feel. It's a really tough line to ride when you know somebody has feelings for you and you have like a professional or like a similar to professional kind of relationship. Because I also think that like if you have caring feelings about them that aren't romantic, you also just want to cut them off. That's like kind of fucked too. So I don't think that there's anything like necessarily wrong maybe I'm just being like too charitable here. I just haven't seen anything that would lead me to believe otherwise. And what I did see seemed like probably how you should handle that.
Well, here's the thing, right? Is that I think that maliciousness is really hard to prove. That would have to show some DMs where Tom is basically saying, "Yeah, I know Sassafras is after me, but I'm not interested in her, but I want to retain her for her work." Right? Obviously, that's very hard to
That's
prove.
what I'm saying. Is there anything that would suggest
um,
it?
Yeah, sure. So I guess the point here isn't the maliciousness. I think the point here is that even if it's gross negligence, it would still be pretty bad,
I
right?
don't think you can
Like,
be gross
if it's gross-
negligence when somebody likes you, and it's over the internet. And like
But,
it seemed like he was
okay, hold
holding
on, hold on.
boundaries. Does it not seem like he was holding a boundary with her?
But don't you think that maybe Tom should have the kind of the wherewithal and responsibility to also cut Sassafras off?
No, I think
was-
she should
was
be the one to
Sassafras-
remove herself from that situation. If it's a one-sided
Sure,
relationship, she's the only one with
okay.
feelings. It's on her, not him, for sure.
Sure, I agree with that, right? But the thing is that if I was Tom, right, and I knew that this chick was like working for me under the pretense of like, okay, it's like a one-way relationship kind of thing, right? Whether or not that's going to be the case or not, if she's going to still work with me, even if I told her like, hey, it's no longer going to be a kind of 100% thing, right? Then it just still comes off as weird. I feel like because he's 35, I feel as though he should know better. I feel as though that he should,
Should know
be
better than to
good on
what?
his own,
No better than to what? He didn't do anything. You're making him responsible for not just holding clear boundaries, but also like saying you have feelings and you're not I personally feel like you can't handle them in the situation that we're in, so now I'm going to have to do something to like that's going to hurt you like for your own good. Like that seems like fucked and kind of misogynistic even. And also it's
feel as though,
complicated on
right?
his end, right? Like he also cares about her. Like I just don't. There's just no way where that if that's what's happening, that I could possibly paint him as the bad guy. And if
See-
she leaves because she has feelings and then causes all this stuff, then it just makes it seem like she had feelings and she didn't get them returned, and now she's like trying to hurt him because of it. Like that's how that would seem to me if that's what's happening. Like I just don't see how.
Drazi,
And even it's his responsibility.
he was watching TV shows with Sassafras regularly, and then I think at around the same time that Mantis came into the picture, he no longer, he one of the excuses that he gave Sassafras was, hey, by the way, it's just simply I don't have time. It seems like our schedules don't line up. It seems like whatever. He could have just said, it's just these days
He doesn't
I'm
owe
with
her that
Mantis, right? It's
explanation.
very clear. It's
No,
very
he
clear
doesn't
that's
owe
the
her
case.
that explanation at all. He's allowed to have that level of privacy, especially when he seemed to have expressed that she has like really strong reactions. He doesn't. She's not entitled to that information. He's not required to provide that. I don't think so at all. Like she might feel like
Okay,
she's
so
owed it, but it
somebody-
doesn't make
okay,
it
okay,
so,
so-
right?
Somebody in chat said a year ago, Foods. A year ago was the TV. I don't know if it was a year ago or recently. Regardless, right? But yeah, I don't know. It
I had
just
really
seems
strong
like to me
feelings for
that-
one of my close friends when I was in my early 20s, like deeply in love with her, and I just told her about it. And but we were chill, like, and I told her like, look, I'm just telling you because like you're my friend, and like I don't want to date you because I think it'll fuck up our friendship, and I like that would really fuck me up. And we were just chilling after that. I think you can be upfront, and
Hold
I
on,
think that it
wait,
sounds
wait.
like Sass wasn't super upfront about it. She was just sort of
Wait,
like
hold on.
pushing the implication a lot.
Whoa, hold on. When you say something along the lines of clear boundaries, right?
Yeah,
That Tom has expressed clear
that's what I see.
boundaries.
But like I said, I
Can you
could be
t-
missing something. Very open to this.
Can you tell me what Tom said again? Because the thing is that maybe somebody can pull it up what Tom has said about the clear boundaries part, right? Because from what I understand, clear boundaries were not communicated. They weren't.
Well, it seemed like there was an attempt at them. Doesn't mean
an attempt doesn't mean it's a good, an actual good done.
Yeah, I don't
right?
think that almost anybody, like I've known a ton of people in my life, and almost none of them have the ability to set any fucking boundaries at all. This is like a super normal thing, but it seems like even the attempt is like impressive to me by any standard. And it seems like he did try to, like, it seems like he's probably more, for lack of a better word, like guy-brained about it, but it doesn't mean like he's doing something wrong. It seems like he's trying, which is like, the intent is what matters here, right? Not how proficient you are at something.
The intent is what matters.
Yeah, do we think that the value...
No. I disagree with this. Hold on. If your intent is for good and you do it in such a shitty way where, somebody perceives it a completely different way, I don't think people should be able to mind read other people and go, you know what? I know exactly what you're intending. I think it matters more about what the action is and how they come across, right?
Right. I agree about people not being should be expected to be mind readers, which is why then in that respect, Tom doesn't know her shit, because she didn't just say like, hey Tom, I have feelings for you, and this is what's going on and all this. I haven't heard any of that stuff happen. So like really, like the boundaries just seem like a courtesy because it seems like they're implied, and she hasn't really like been super upfront about it, at least from what's been revealed. So like, why is all this responsibility on him for assuming her feelings, and then like taking all this responsibility for the feelings that he should have assumed that she had, and then like managing those feelings for her that's being assumed to be had, which also would require him to be not just a mind reader, but also perfect at setting boundaries. Otherwise, like, he's a dick.
Here's the thing. It's funny that, that is said when Tom has kind of labeled Sassafras as like a jealous friend, right? Or a jealous
I never heard him say that. I said that based on like the line of reasoning that we went down.
Like the way he painted her as is like somebody who was obsessive, right, over him.
Is he not allowed to feel that way after? Was that after this stuff? Like after Sass left his community and then like leaked stuff?
He said that in his response stream.
Okay,
he basically painted Sassafras as somebody who was. Hold on, right? Because it's like, how do we know it's not just, Tom, again, we just don't have, I guess we still don't have much information about this, right? Because again, is that if Sassafras would come forward and start like saying, what actually happened, or, what the nature of the relationship is, because I'm going to be honest right now, I don't trust Tom. Okay. I just don't. What matters a lot to me is that right now Sassafras has more of the credibility.
Why?
And yeah, right. So
why?
At the end of the day, I see. Huh?
What earns Sassafras that more? I legitimately don't know what earns Sassafras that more.
Tom has negative credibility. This guy literally was shown to be lying multiple times now.
Okay, the only example that I was told and that I brought up was an example where the lying would be like debatably the more moral thing to do.
Okay. We're talking about credibility here, right? We're not talking about morals.
Okay, yeah, and
because
I say that
morals, that's a whole nother discussion.
Okay, hang on though. What I'm saying is that if he lies and says that's not Mantis's nude, this isn't like I don't see this as like calling his ability to be honest into question. This seems like somebody who is basically forced to lie to protect somebody from facing the consequences of his mistake. He has to lie and risk credibility for the sake of protecting somebody else. He's standing in the line of fire. And I'd say that this is not, somebody taking accountability in that way is not going to be, this isn't going to be a slight against their credibility to me. Just because some people might perceive it to be that, just because it was technically a lie, like I think he kind of had a responsibility to burden himself with lying in that instance. Is there another example?
See, I understand where you're coming from, right? But if
I know
you
I'm reasonable
correctly, huh?
I said I know I'm reasonable.
No, not reasonable.
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you why. No, not reasonable. I'll tell you why. Okay.
Okay.
The thing is that this entire Kelly Jean stuff, Sassafras was still on Tom's team. Even though this entire Kelly Jean stuff was going down, right? I view this as two separate dramas because they're so different topically, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the most responsible way to frame it as well, right? So the second part, specifically the part with the nudes, right? The nude leak happened,
Yeah.
and that is when Sassafras felt compelled to come forward, right? The thing is, the real question I have is this. When Tom was when Tom was kind of rizzing up other women in the past and also befriending other women in the past, did Sassafras ever display evidence that she had a problem with these? Because the thing is that I would imagine there would be a problem if the exclusivity factor was threatened, right? Clearly, it seems like to me that Tom was spending more time with somebody else, and so therefore that is why Sassafras felt threatened, like her position was being threatened.
Yeah,
No,
I don't think that if somebody feels jealous about something that I do, it's not my responsibility to fix that in them. That is their responsibility to fix their own emotional their feelings.
No, but
about
there is a pact. There's a pact of exclusivity, right? That's the whole point of what I'm trying to get across, right?
So this
because
would,
if
this
there
would need-
wasn't,
there would need to be we would need to know that Sass and Tom
there was
were
an agreement.
in
Okay.
a relationship that has exclusivity. Is that being suggested? Is anybody honestly suggesting this?
It is suggested, but has not been countered by Tom, right? The thing is that it seems as though Sassafras is saying things along the lines of, "Oh, are you flirting with her? Are you blah blah blah? Are you blah blah blah?" Sure, she can be the jealous friend, right? Even if
Yeah.
she was the jealous friend. Okay, let's just assume that even in the case that she was the jealous friend, I don't think it's a moral thing to get your jealous friend to continue producing content for you, right? Knowing that if you were with Mantis, that she would leave your team, right? Or something like along those
I just don't
lines
think
of that,
he
right?
owes anybody the information about who he's with, let alone somebody who's jealous.
Yeah,
Your
the
jealousy
thing
does
is that
not
no,
dictate my behavior
no.
ever.
The
Never, ever.
standard that you set is so high, though, isn't it? Because what you're
No.
basically saying is that, like, oh, he can just do whatever the heck he wants as a
No, it's
content
not.
creator, right?
Wait. No, that's extremely bad faith. Never ever did I say he can do whatever he wants.
Oh my god. No, obviously,
Just say what you actually
right?
mean.
No. Okay, I'll say what you mean, okay? Because it seems as though that you're willing to let Tom get away, even though he looks
I'm saying there's nothing
really
to get away
bad
with.
here, and not put. Really? Is there really
unless
nothing for him to get
unless
away
they are
with?
dating, unless they're exclusively
Come
dating
on.
each other. Yeah, he has no responsibility to somebody who has a crush on him that he isn't dating.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody does.
I didn't even bring up this part, okay? Is that Chud Logic confirmed on his stream that from Hannahthing, okay, on Hannahthing's word, that yes, Sassafras and Tom were dating each other.
Okay, if that's true, then sure, it changes a little bit, but it's still just high school drama bullshit.
A little bit? That's not. No, you can't just frame this as high school drama shit now. Like it doesn't.
It is. We're talking about like
Bro,
people
the
dating
entire
each other.
point is the exclusivity. The entire point is the exclusivity, my dudester.
I said if that is the case, then yeah, it makes it worse, but it's still worse in this high school drama frame. And that's as far as it goes to me.
Diminish it. Okay, you can.
I have been diminishing this entire thing by saying it seems like it's a high school drama shit. It's online dating. Like how are we getting to this point where online dating is taken as serious as like human to human like dating, where people are like building a life together and like falling in love and like doing shit for real.
Drazi, you freaking rectangle, okay? I just want to tell you right now, okay? I love you, okay? You're my favorite trapezoid, okay? But you are deranged, okay? I don't know what else to tell you. The thing is what I see here is that this man has a history of lying, okay? It seems as though Sassafras is a
give me one
person
lie.
who doesn't have a history of lying, right? And it seems as though that one person is doing production work, all right, while expecting some degree of exclusivity from Tom, right, in terms of behavior at the very least. If the lines are blurred, sure, Sassafras needs to define these lines, but it's also Tom's fucking responsibility, no? Right?
Only if there is an agreement of exclusivity. If there is an agreement of exclusivity, then the bad thing that was done is that like he's going back on his word, and like it gets a little murky. Like you should like, if that's the case, you probably shouldn't date people that you're the boss of. That's kind of weird. Does she get paid?
Hold on. Do you believe that anybody can lead anybody on? Do you believe the fact that being led on?
I don't think that it's I think that it happens all the time on purpose and by mistake, of course.
Okay.
And it can be hard to tell which one is which is why I don't think it's like the most condemnable offense. Sometimes it's like super egregious and like it's totally planned and on purpose, in which case I'd say like you're actually a piece of shit. You're like actually you're emotionally manipulating somebody to get something out of them. That's like super, super bad. But those are pretty like far few between like examples. And I think sometimes you can kind of know that it's happening and like kind of like it can be hard for you to even understand if that's what's really happening. That this is like a whole spectrum of like really tough to figure out stuff.
Okay. If you ignore the leaked DMs and it just comes down to actually confirmed wording of the fact that, okay, there is a committed relationship here, then sure, I agree with you, right?
Yeah, also, I need to know, does she get paid for her work?
No.
Okay. It's just voluntarily doing stuff?
Wait, what does that have to do with anything?
Well, I can tell you. So, like, one, if she's getting paid for it, and, like, this is her job, or, like, this is, like, any kind of, like, contributing factor to her income, now it's, like, if he understands that she has feelings, but she also has to, like, kind of walk around on eggshells because, like, she could lose money if she does the wrong thing. This becomes a lot more like of a real deal ethical thing that steps outside the boundaries of like a high school drama bullshit thing for me. But if she's not getting paid, then I need to understand like how then it just becomes like extremely important to understand how this relationship is defined. Because if she's not getting paid and she's like kind of doing, if she's like, I'm his girlfriend, so of course I'm gonna do do this kind of work for him to help him out. Then so he's letting her think that while he's dating other people. That gets pretty bad too, because then it's like labor exploitation. So like I think the defining of the relationship clearly.
Oval. No. Listen, you half oval. Okay. Listen.
Well, you asked me why it mattered. I was just trying to give you a clear answer here.
Sure. I accept it. The thing is, what in your definition, what does being led on mean? What does that mean?
Led on, making somebody think that you have feelings that you don't. Or making somebody think that you have positive romantic and or sexual feelings for them that you don't actually have.
No, we can progress with this. I love this definition. Okay, hold on. All right, so does Sassafras, can we at least assume that Sassafras has romantic feelings towards Tom?
It seems like it from what you're telling me, but I don't think I've ever heard Sassafras say any of that. But sure, we'll just say yeah. I have no reason to think otherwise.
You know what? If we don't want to use the word romantic, can we use the word
I'm just saying like, look, I'm doing the thing where I'm answering you as honestly as possible, but like I'm for the sake of argument, I'm willing to say like, yeah, sure, because like I think it's probably pretty likely that she did. So yeah, sure, we'll just say yes, and we can go forward.
So Sassafras and Tom have been spending time together. All right, they've been. Hold on. There's a TTS coming in. Thank you for the $10, Lynn. What? That's wild and okay, sorry. Here's the thing, okay? Is that would you say that spending nights together where they're watching TV shows with each other, is that like, even if somebody is producing content for you, and then it seems like there's some level of exclusivity at the very least.
Well, this is the
That
part that I
seems like
like.
to
Look,
me,
the
there's an
exclusivity.
expectation. There's an
Look.
expectation of exclusivity going on, basically.
No, I wouldn't say that there's an expectation of exclusivity going on based on what you said. No, she could like. There's another explanation that like that fits the situation perfectly. So it's saying like I need to know that before I can. I would need to know whether or not she's getting paid for it and what kind of agreement they have made between them before any real judgment about the situation can actually happen. Otherwise, we're just sort of like condemning somebody based on like several like things that we're just sort of supposing and like secondhand accounts from other people. They may have their own motivations. I haven't heard anything from Sass himself. So we're just like supposing all this stuff and then like saying like you're bad for this stuff.
Here's the thing: if it was never clearly defined as like a completely committed relationship, right? If there's like a completely exclusive relationship, even if it's a friendship, right? An exclusive best friendship, right?
I don't really know how that would operate, but sure.
Listen, I'm just giving out an example. Okay. All right, Jesus. All right. So even in that case, okay, how much evidence would you have to see in order for that to be the case? I guess.
Well, I just need that. I just told you I need to understand the nature
actual confirmation.
I need to understand the nature of their business relationship, whether or not she's getting paid, and then what the type of like interpersonal relationship they have. If one of them states both of those things, then I can get a much better understanding of like how I would feel about this. But otherwise, it's just like all speculation, right? And people are just sort of this is exactly what's going to happen. It's just like the examples that I gave in the beginning of this conversation that had nothing to do with it, where I pointed out how people reacted to you, to Mr. Girl, and then to Vaush. People are going to side with the person they already like, no matter what's being said, because there's nothing that we can really know at this point. So they're just going to pick the person they like and say the other person's bad.
Okay. Which side do you think I'm on when it comes to scenarios like this?
I don't know. I think in situations like this, you're going to be on the side of the person that you perceive to be more vulnerable, regardless of like the nuance. I think that you're going to emotionally side with the more vulnerable person, just based on what I've seen of you. But that doesn't mean I'm right. You're asking me to guess.
Again, like I said before, I feel as though I feel an emotional. What is it?
I happened to glance over at my chat, and there's like a bunch of big chats, and then Portland is burning stand out because it was just a tiny list. I side with the horses. It just caught me off guard. I didn't mean to like cut you off by laughing. This motherfucker, he gets me all the time with that.
Yeah. I mean, I get the emotional. Like I have the emotional kind of wherewithal, to kind of defend Tom, right? Like I get that. But at the same time, the more information leaks out about this, the more Tom's credibility gets damaged, the less I feel like I can be on the side of Tom, right? If that makes sense.
Sure, but I think a lot of the credibility that damage that he's taking right now, because I would say like this doesn't really seem to have anything to do with the Kelly Jean thing. There might be like a little bit of a like
no, like
bad
I said,
feelings.
these are two separate things.
Yes,
Yeah.
But the credibility is something that follows you everywhere, right?
Sure.
And so I think that there might be a little tiny bit of that, but I'm also willing to say, okay, I'm going to push that aside for now. If I just exclude the Kelly Jean thing, it seems like Tom's credibility is taking the biggest hit from this situation where we're making a lot of assumptions. So I think his credibility can be restored depending on whether these assumptions end up being founded or not. And you'll never ever see me be a person that's on like purely speculative grounds when the counter narrative to the speculation also fits the situation just fine, and say that this person is clearly doing the bad thing. That's crazy to me. And you know what though? That's really like nobody likes that when I disagree with them.
No.
But when they're the one in a spot and I'm saying like, hey, come on, like we don't know any of that shit, and it's them, that person's gonna appreciate that. Because I've been in situations where nobody would ever believe me, but I was still like not doing the bad thing that people thought I was. Not have anything crazy, but like I've been in situations.
Here's the thing, all right. Regardless of what we think about the whole sassafras thing, can we at least agree that if you like, because Tom at this point has admitted to lying, right? To several things. It's not just, by the way, it's not just about the nudes, right? It's also about some other things, right? Can we at least agree that if you're a community member, you came from his community all the way back then, right? And then you basically see him like this and you feel like you're being lied to, do you think you can sympathize with that at the very least?
But of course, look, I sympathize with the people that are feeling this way. I just think that I think it's a lot of what you said. People really like Sass. And if Sass is hurt, they're going to like Tom doesn't have as much credibility, but that doesn't mean that he's not correct. And part of the problem here is that we're jumping to conclusions before we have any like solid information, and which is kind of an okay thing to do. Is what you do in the drama space, but to then like cast the verdict on somebody on whether they're like a bad person having done shitty things or not, past like moving
No,
past that,
I don't think
is
Tom is a
incorrect.
bad person per se.
No, but
but-
this is what's happening to him. I'm not talking about you. This situation is hurting him really bad, and we don't have enough information to like even really know what's going on. So like we can speculate all we want, but I feel like I wish that we wouldn't as much, or at least if when people did speculate, I wish they did it in the way that I am, where where they are acknowledging, like, if it's like this, then sure, I think this is pretty bad, but we don't actually know. These kind of caveats are pretty important when it's somebody who, like, I think that without this stuff, a lot of people that are criticizing Tom had a bit of care for Tom, and I think that care should be respected in by acknowledging that, like even just allegedly. These kinds of things I think are really helpful in this because, like, dude's taking a pretty big hit to his career for something that might have actually been, like, fucking nothing, except for the nude leaks. That's bad, but it's more like oops, I didn't even mean to do that kind of bad. Like, you can make a really bad mistake, but, like, you're not a bad person for doing it. You just fucked up. Like, shit. I was supposed to fix a computer and I dropped it. I fucked up, but I'm not a bad person.
Sure, yeah, like again, I don't disagree
kind
with
of
you
thing.
there, right? Because
Yeah.
because I don't think anybody's career on YouTube should end because of some leak or because of some like thing being
Relationship drama?
exposed per se, right? And then being blown out of proportion, right?
Yeah.
Um
And it's gotten to the point
But-
where, like, that
but
fake
damn, it's
Associated
like,
Press person calling him, like, that's pretty unhinged, right?
oh, I have not listened to that.
Oh,
I've not
somebody
listened
called
to
him
that.
saying that they were a reporter and he asked for their credentials and they hung up on him. And I seen that used against him. Where, like, they're people, I think it was on JSTLK stream. I don't know who said it. And I'm not 100% sure that was stream it was on. But they're saying, like, that means that, like, well, obviously you have something to hide if you're asking for their credentials. Like, no, I don't want to fucking answer somebody who's calling on the phone who's not going to give me their credentials. Like, I got this shit going on and then somebody's going to call me asking if they can ask me questions. That's super sussy. So, like,
Again,
things
again,
keep,
I
like,
have not-
leveling up on him.
Again, I've not watched that one, but if that's true, that's pretty bad, right? Like, because you're trying to get in jabs at this person on their offline time per se, right? Off stream time. And while that isn't necessarily a bad thing because blah 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 content, whatever, right? I think that I don't think that asking for credentials should be something that is gone after or whatever, right? But yeah.
Wait, what's not something that should be gone after?
Yeah, like Tom asking the person for their credentials. If what you're saying is true,
Oh yeah,
then I
also
don't
that
think
call
that should be
shouldn't have been
something-
made. People shouldn't be calling his phone to, like, try to, like, sneaky detective spy it out of him. That shit's really
sure.
weird.
Yeah. I
Also,
agree with you.
if I'm
But,
Tom, this is when I start becoming more of a liar after that. I'm freaked out, like, what the fuck is going on at this point? Jesus Christ. Maybe I just can't say anything to anybody at this point. Oh my god. These motherfuckers are, like, they're here. I thought we were here, which I didn't like, but, like, they're like fucking here. When's somebody gonna
Okay,
knock on my fucking door?
Okay, do you think that there's a good way for Tom to tell the truth and also play things off and then, kind of just
There might be. I just don't know what the truth
cruise
is.
his way through? cruise his way through without like necessarily telling lies, I guess, or misrepresenting things.
Oh shit. Well, I don't know what the truth is. So like maybe, but I'd have to know what the truth is to say that.
Well, we do know some
Like
parts.
if
of
the truth is that
right?
like he told Sass, I'm gonna fucking kill you if you fucking leave my Discord or not or whatever. Then sure, there's probably no good way he could tell the truth about it. Without it still come out looking good. But if it was all the stuff that I said, yeah, I think he looks fine, and I think that something really bad has happened to him then. With all the charitable things that I said like could be happening, that also fits with the with everything that has gone on, then I think that yeah, he could just say that stuff. It could be fine, with the exception that I think that there's a way for people to, when it comes to people that care about Sass, I think that they're probably going to like I laid it out earlier. If she has feelings for him, he's damned if he did one thing and he's damned if he didn't. He was like fucked as soon as she developed feelings for the way that some people are going to look at it. Also, JubeTube said, my opinion, the criticism of the call is just that he got convinced and he claimed that he knew the whole time and was playing along until the obvious giveaway. But I hadn't heard that criticism of wanting credentials. I didn't even know that he fucking talked to him. So that's what I was saying. Like I heard it on a stream that I didn't know about. Like if that's strike everything I said about that, I misheard about it because that's why would you fucking talk to somebody who called you like that? That's crazy. Prank call is a good bit, but it's pretty much just milking the lol cow. Can't blame Tom for getting defensive about it. Yeah, true. Okay, here's the thing that I think that you can empathize with. I was just talking to a friend of mine online about this. Portland said Tom could literally said, "Oops, my bad." And he could have gone dark after a day maximum, but he had to fight for his right to goon, and here we are. I think that Tom is one of these people that when if he doesn't think that he's wrong, I just don't think that he fucking can stop the argument. I think that he has to keep going. Like I just think that he has like that kind of like that energy to just like not like if he thinks the other people if people aren't understanding what he's saying and that's why they think that he's wrong, he's just gonna keep going and going and going. And I think that most of us have at least some of that in us, so we can understand what that is like ramped up. Because like I've seen Tom, he's like when he's like debating with people, he's pretty aggressive. Like this would match onto his personality pretty well. Do you think so too, Food Shops? Can you understand and empathize with that idea?
Do you think? Okay, wait, hold on. I'm just curious. Do you think that like when he basically says, "I apologize for absolutely nothing," that even that doesn't look bad?
No. Oh, wait. Optically, I think Tom's done a lot of like really dumb fucking shit optically. I think that his mouth's gotten him into a lot of trouble. Yeah. But I think that it's I think a lot of it has a lot more to do with his emotional response than getting pissed off and having poor control over like his mouth when he's mad. Because that's what he's acting like. He's acting like somebody who's like pissed off and shooting their mouth off rather than somebody who's like revealing the truth about how they feel, right?
Yeah, but it's his responsibility to also present.
Sure, I think that he did like, fuck up. His optics are bad, for sure. But I think that a lot of people will make bad optical choices in that situation as well. I'm not saying that excuses it.
Yes, you're coming.
There's just like a bit of a deterministic thing here. Like people who are like have like a 10-point score on being able to handle criticism and keep their cool are going to lower that to like a 5 or 6, and people who have like a 7 or 8 are maybe lower to like a 3 or 2, depending on how much is coming at you all at once, right? So like some people will still do better than others. It just depends on how good you are at that baseline and like how much you're getting. So like sure, yeah, he's optically some really dumb stuff, and I've said every time that I've been in defense of Tom too, like he said some really dumb shit, and like I get it, but like I think that I would like to think that I wouldn't be as emotional and blind to how what I'm saying is going to affect people, but like I don't have that bad of a temper though, so I'd like to think that I would do better, but maybe not. I just think that most people in the space don't have the ability to like actually piss me off.
Sure. So again, it seems as though that maybe more information will come out in the coming days, right? But it looks like this entire drama thing is winding down, right? Already.
I hope so.
But how do you think? Okay. How do you think Tom should move forward at the very least? What do you think about that?
Ideally, like the typical tried and true Destiny advice, just lay low for like a week or two.
Stream. Just keep
And
streaming.
yeah, just lay low. Just like don't fuck with it for a bit, and it'll blow over. It really will. When I had my whole drama thing, I knew that if I engaged in it, that's why when everybody was talking about the video that I put out, that they were like so much more mad about than they honestly should have been. It was really, and it got talked about like an insane amount, more than I could have ever expected. I didn't go on people's streams to talk about it. I talked about it like one time in Kidnapkin's chat, and I think that's it. Like I was just in his chat and I responded to some stuff that I thought was silly. That was like a week and a half after it happened, and I just didn't even stream. I was just like, you know what? I'm just not gonna give anybody anything, because this is so dumb. Like I can't really engage anyways, so I just let it blow over. And like that was like obnoxiously talked about for like a really long time. We were like slow ass fucking 2 weeks in this space for that to take up that much time. But I was like, all right, I guess I just chill for a bit. And
Yeah,
it did work. And now when
like-
people bring it up, like it never really bothered me to begin with. I was never hurt by any of it. So it doesn't like really land when they try to like get that like you're like, oh, you're here, so now I'm gonna jab you with it. I'm not affected by it, so it really doesn't have any power.
Sure.
Because there's no force behind it.
I mean, at this point, right? Like, having any more, dogpiling and stuff just seems a little bit unwarranted. Obviously, it seems like he's trying to gather his, direction and see what's gonna go on from there right now. But
yeah, I think that
I don't know.
the
I don't know,
dogpiling's
okay.
inevitable in the beginning, but like, God, somebody should probably try to rein that in a little bit at some points on their streams. But I guess that's just cucking the content. When I had people on my stream, like I had the whole Wick thing, I at least did my best to try to make sure that if people said things that were criticisms that were bad faith to try to get them to answer for it, I shut that shit down. I was like, no, we're not doing that. You can ask a real question. But
Yeah.
I'm pretty flexible. Like the only thing I said that you said that was bad faith was like you said that just means that he can do anything. Like, no.
Oh, okay.
And
hold
like
on.
that's
You know
that's the kind
exactly
of
what I
stuff
mean,
that
right?
that's
Like,
yeah, sure, but
you don't actually think that I meant, oh yeah, he can do whatever he wants. What I meant there was like, oh, it's like
when people are getting
so
dogpiled, that's the
it's
stuff I think needs
excusable.
to be
And
reined in by whoever's in charge. Because when things are really heated, for the audience, they can latch on to that still because like they're not in the streamer's heads or anything like that. And if they're really mad, they're like, yeah, you think that? Like, no. That's the only kind of stuff that I really think needs to be reined in than the initial dog piles. I wish people do a little bit better job at that stuff because it's just sort of like adds fuel to the fire that's burning just fine.
Yeah, I mean, you're coming at this from a more human perspective. I think that when you're a content creator that enters a space, you should know what you're doing. And you should also know, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, I think that coming from my position at the very least, it is a little bit ironic, right? Because I suffered through my own bouts of, naiveness, right?
Sure.
The thing is that I think you should also be responsible for, kind of like not spiraling out of control and doubling down, tripling down, right? But at the same time,
it's hard to know when it's happening to you, right? When you see somebody else and you're like,
yeah,
oh my God, this
yes,
motherfucker's
yeah,
losing it. And it's,
that's correct, yeah.
get the popcorn. Because I want to see somebody have a fucking mental breakdown. When I'm sitting in my computer chair, I'm degenerately enjoying this other person's misery. It's super easy to do. In fact, I had to stop participating in people's chats because I noticed I was becoming like the worst version of myself in other streamers'
You're
chats.
just shitting
Just
on
saying the most
somebody, right?
nasty,
Yeah.
obnoxious shit. I'm like, what's going on here? This is just for the boys only.
can
Like,
just
this
say
is how I make
Freeman,
fun of my
okay?
friends. I was like, this is wild. I can't say this shit publicly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start being like cancelable in like 5 minutes if I don't chill out. So I've taken a lot of notice of that and I've chilled out. But I think that it's really hard to tell when it's happening to you because everybody feels like their emotions are justified, they're being reasonable, and everybody else is being unreasonable. So I got to get louder, I got to talk faster, I can't let them cut me off. Unfortunately, you just look like a fucking psychopath when you're doing it.
Yeah, because you want to correct the record, right?
Yeah,
You want
that
to-
OBS
you want
screen
to
up there
correct the
somehow
record.
doesn't serve as a mirror for people.
Yeah. Did you come up with that one just now? What the
Yeah,
fuck?
because I just looked at my reflection in there, and I just thought about how I would look if I was going off, and I would hope that I would see myself like, oh
What?
fuck,
Why
chill.
would you say that? Okay. All right. Well, I mean, that was, if you came up with that on the spot, that's witty. So good job.
Thank you.
But I guess we'll see,
I
right?
write
We'll
sometimes.
see. We'll see. Right now, we are also, in a way, dueling with our, devil's advocate and speculations. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'll admit that I don't have all the information. I don't have direct evidence, right? The only thing that we sort of are going off right now is off of credibility, circumstantial evidence, and narratives, right? And
Yeah.
stuff like that. Because I know, and dumb, yes. Because if can we just shame Tom for being a gooner? I thought it was on stream. Listen, all right. Can we just
yeah,
all
Tom,
right.
don't be a fucking gooner. Take a step back,
Okay. All right.
turn it down one notch, just edge for a while, buddy. That's all you need.
Yeah.
We don't need to lose
Also,
ourselves.
stop. Okay, yeah, and also stop doubling down and saying like, "Oh, Kelly Jean wants my dick." Okay, stop. Don't do that. Okay.
You know
Jesus
what?
fucking Christ.
Portland is burning
Right.
said it in my chat perfectly. Not the last chat you just said. God damn. That's so easy to fucking take out of context. I didn't see that yet. He said that he's also just kind of oblivious about what's socially acceptable to a general audience versus what's socially acceptable, like locker room banter, so to speak, vis-a-vis like she wants my dick thing. Like, I immediately understood what he was saying. And also, I think that Tom is like a sarcastic and cocky kind of guy. It's exactly the kind of thing that I would expect him to say. Granted, he really should know that people aren't going to. So, like, the problem with that is that it probably wasn't an issue until the other stuff was an issue. Like, that would just be seen as like a regular Tom thing to say. But since like Kelly's mad and there's other people involved, now it's going to be looked at with more scrutiny, and it's going to be like a much less charitable take. But if
Sure.
this was like a regular Tom stream, like, this is a fine thing to say because everybody knows he's joking. But when people come in that like aren't Tom viewers, they're gonna look at it. It's gonna be really reasonable for them to say like, "Excuse me, like, disgusting fucking man pig." I get that, but like everybody who's already there knows what
No
he
one
meant.
called him that.
But I think that's a reasonable thing to think if you just step in and see that was said. Like, what the fuck? Like, I think that there's going to be some people that'll have a genuine disgust reaction, but they're just actually not understanding, like, the context. But, like, you should probably be aware of that if you're going to be so
Yeah,
combative to where you're, like, pissing people off all the
reason-
time.
The reason why like everybody was also dunking on him, right, is partly also because he lacked a lot of self-awareness when he was in panic mode, right? Because when you're in panic mode, I don't think that you're thinking straight, right?
Yeah, like,
And
definitionally so.
therefore-
If you're thinking straight, you're not in
Yeah,
panic mode.
Yeah, well, yeah, sort of, right? I think that I don't know. And then it seems like he was also in, kind of panic mode again during the second thing, right? The men's nudes kind of thing. And then when he says that, "Oh yeah, I apologize for absolutely nothing," then suddenly like it feels like there's an extra, like, I guess, layer added
All right,
on
can we
top
just
of that,
agree
right? And then
that
everybody was
Tom's
phoning in.
actually just laugh? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Continue.
How do you know he's not just Lav? He could just be male Lav. You don't know that.
I mean, if that's going to be a comparison that people make forever and ever, then just call me a genius because I just pulled that straight out of my asshole. So I mean,
Okay.
I just thought it was something silly to say. But actually, I just thought of that because like initially a lot of the really dumb stuff that Lav said was when a bunch of people were dogpiling her, and then she clarified and shit, but everybody was too mad to listen to her. Granted, after that she said a ton of dumb stuff, just totally on her own. So. So like that defense doesn't really work for her anymore. But yeah, I was just joking.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure.
I think that the worst part about this is that I think that Tom loses the ability to really be Tom after this. He can't just business as usual and just kind of scale it back. There's going to be like a previously unknown level of scrutiny on how he behaves on his streams and stuff. And I think that if he steps out of line even a little bit, which is like kind of his thing, he likes to cross the line just enough and then pull it back. That's what makes him entertaining. I think that he's not going to be able to do that without having tidal waves of just bullshit hit him that he would have never had to deal with before. So that sucks.
Sure. I'll say this much as well. I do think that in a way Tom does get an unwarranted amount of hate. Even before this whole drama, right?
Yeah,
For
yeah.
no reason. I think that even if he was lying about his past, which sucks, and I think should also be brought to the surface, right? I think that
Wait, what?
people still found him.
What about his past needs to be brought to
People-
the surface?
It's like whether or not he was lying about like the whole Pizza Hut kind of employee versus like rhetoric coach or something like that, right? Again, it seems as though that there are some inconsistencies or something
No, I missed that
along
part.
the lines of that.
I also missed all the
So,
call-ins on Zonia's
basically-
stream.
Well, in a shell nut, right? In a shell nut, basically, at some point, he said that he was a rhetoric coach, and then later on, I think it was revealed that he was a Pizza Hut worker or something like that.
Couldn't you have been both
and-
at different times?
Hmm?
Couldn't you have been both at different times? Sorry, I don't know why I tried to talk and you on at the same time.
Yeah, like I mean, there's a lot of plausible deniability. Like for
Well, it's not
his,
plausible deniability. That's just like him saying, like, I was a rhetoric coach. Somebody's like, you worked at Pizza Hut. And I'm just like, couldn't that both just be yes? Like, couldn't they both be telling the truth just fine? You didn't need plausible deniability or like any shared ability here. You just need to just not assume that people are lying for them both to work, right? Because like if I said like I worked at C&M Technologies, somebody's like, bro, you worked at CSI. And I'm like, I literally worked at both of those places. Like, what the fuck? Of like, why would you say it like that? Like, I'm lying. Like, you're right. I did work at CSI. But
I
like,
mean,
I was working at
To be fair,
C&M.
like I said again, I'm not the one who has all the facts on the table, so you could totally be right, right?
Right. I'm just saying, like, even
I'm
with that
just-
credibility, like,
I'm
that's
just-
not a counterclaim.
Sure. I'm just bringing up something because that's something that I heard before, right?
Yeah, but I think that's good though. It kind of shows the level at which like the kinds of engagement that are like carrying this are like they're a little bit abnormal. To just say like you could have been a rhetoric coach who worked at a place and like there could be more okay. See now I have more context. Drowsy, it's out in the open that his rhetoric coach position was actually a Domino's pizza training position. He taught Domino's employees how to upsell. All right. Well, you know what? He upsold his position to us then, didn't he? Very, very well. That's fucking insane. Say that I was a rhetoric coach for Domino's Pizza. Also, my chat wanted to correct you that it was Domino's, not Pizza Hut.
To be
Whose
fair-
credibility's
okay,
bad
okay,
now,
okay,
food shops? Just
Oh
kidding.
wow! Oh no! I got the pizza shop wrong. Oh no! This is so terrible. Yeah, no.
One of
Dude,
these pizza places
I-
are way better than the other, okay? Somebody says
Which
they
one?
work for Domino's, or if somebody says they work for pizza, I'm like, all right, bring me some pretty good pizza if you come over. If you say you work for Domino's, I'm like, all right, great, you're my fucking roommate. Scream while I'm streaming, please, so that everybody can hear it.
Why can't like as long as you enjoy the pizza, who cares? It's like it's good, right? Hey, hold on. I feel as though when I think of the word rhetoric coach, right? I think of like
Yeah, that's a
somebody
gross misrepresentation of what you're doing. Although I will say
Oh.
he's coaching his own rhetoric pretty good to sell that one. I'm not gonna lie. Sort of a self-fulfilling, self-correcting lie, if you will.
I'll tell you this right now.
Because that's a brilliant reframing. My old roommate who was a janitor, he used to say that he was a sanitation and waste removal
Specialist.
Yeah, specialist. And I was just like,
Oh,
God
yeah,
damn.
let's go.
Because he got the job and he came back and he told me, I was like, what the fuck is that? He's like, I'm a janitor. He's like, you want to come to work with me tomorrow? They're all going to be gone. And I did. And we fucked around on like employees' computers and shit. It was fun.
Yeah, I'm somebody who engages in media training, management, editing, film crew related productions. Okay, no, I'm
Is
a
this just
streamer.
OnlyFans? Oh, I thought you were gonna say it's
do YouTube.
OnlyFans.
What the fuck? Stop! No.
Well, I thought you were building
Yeah.
to like a thing that sounded really fancy and then was like something like more extreme that people weren't expecting.
No, it's just being a YouTuber. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what it is. Being a streamer. All right, on YouTube.
I sell
it's like
I
trying
sell
to build up-
Snapchat Premium.
Oh my god! You know what Tom was doing? I think Tom was just building up his resume. It's like this somebody who was just came out of college. He was building up his resume, and that's what it seems like to me. You're trying to fluff up things.
Oh, yeah,
make things
yeah.
sound more impressive, and then that's what it seems like he was doing. And then he overstepped his boundaries. And then he's like, "Rip."
Yeah. I've had some jobs where I could be pretty creative with the job title that I had. So you just take the best sounding one.
Yeah, for sure. Cool, awesome. Is there anything else?
No, I don't think so. This was a lot more energized and fun than I thought it was going to be. I thought we were going to talk for like 30 minutes about Tom, and you're going to clear some stuff up for me. But this is actually fun. I had a good time.
No, dude. Okay.
And some catharsis with the whole OCD thing. That was very like. That's gonna help me. Like honestly,
trying to explain it to people and stuff.
No, like the fact that I have this like crazy deal with like not being able to lie. I never related that to my obsessive compulsive tendencies in my life, but like everything else, I'm like super aware of that. Like that's affecting me there. Like
it's actually rather it
gave me something valuable that like I get to take out into the real world, and that's super cool. I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, it's actually a more common manifestation than you think it is.
Didn't think of it at all.
It's
in so fact, obvious
it's one of the most common. Exactly. Yeah. Here's the thing: is that like it's so prevalent throughout our lives that it sort of just shapes our personality. And I feel as though like I wouldn't be Food Shops without the way that OCD kind of shaped my personality. Because now, guess what? Even without the OCD kind of urge, I would say like it's impossible for me to lie. It's just impossible. I just don't think it's possible. It's just like when I do it, I feel bad about it for days on end personally. It isn't even like a kind of thing where, oh yeah, I'm lying for the public, right? It's one of these things where I would go, I have a compulsion to tell the truth, which is again low-cal behavior, right? But the thing is that like I think that's a part of me that I'm happy about, more than anything else.
Like,
which is why I always say my honest opinions. Okay, all right, that's what I do. All right,
true.
Yeah.
Like, so
otherwise I feel like
you've obviously had it your whole life. Have you ever started noticing that you're doing something that you like? As soon as you notice it, you realize you have been doing it for a while. Like, oh shit, it's just gonna be like a thing for me now. So like I've always tried to be like really aware of that to see if I'm like developing like a like ritualistic habit. So like I just feel so dumb to not evaluate the honesty thing. I've talked about it so much about just like how retarded it makes me seem and like non-functional to other people. And
confessing when you don't even
oversharing
need
like a
confess,
motherfucker
oversharing
too.
Yes, oversharing, exactly. Like for example, if you admit to somebody, oh yeah, I take the shit out of the toilet and I eat it, right? Or whatever the fuck, right?
I mean, who doesn't do that? Let's come on.
It's like
you're just gonna waste it.
It's like why you have to run with it? Okay, the point is okay, all right. Jesus,
you set it up. Right. Come on, this is matching your energy.
Sure. The point is that like there's some facts about friends that I wish I didn't know, right? And the only reason why I knew about them is because they told me, right? For example, is my friend committing tax fraud. I don't need to know that shit, okay? However, because they feel the compulsion to tell the truth, they will feel like, okay, I want to tell you the fact that I'm committing tax fraud because I feel so guilty about myself. And I'm gonna tell you that because it makes me feel better. That is compulsion, rituals, and obsession.
I
okay?
told somebody I was
And it's
dating that
not
I
just-
fantasized about cheating on them. Just because, not like I felt guilty for feeling that way, but I just felt guilty for not saying it. And then that's when I
See?
realized I was like, oh, like
Yeah.
I don't actually have to say everything. Like, I mean, it turns out I still do, but like I was just like,
Yeah.
I think I might have a problem oversharing because like it just seems like important to
Yeah.
like not keep that inside. Like I'm being selfish or something. Like
Now here's the
Dumb.
thing. All right, get ready for this. Okay. Now let's just say that you said to somebody, "Oh, I have the intrusive thoughts of cheating on you," right?
no, it was
And
a
then-
fantasy.
and then
It
and
was a
then you
welcome one. I liked it. It was fun to fantasize.
and then confessed it to your partner or whatever, right?
Yeah.
They would go like, "Bro, what are you doing?"
She
You're-
cried.
Are you gonna cheat on me? Are you gonna cheat on me? Is that what's gonna happen? Right? That's obviously their first thought, right?
She
but
cried.
the
She's like,
thing is-
"Do you not like me?" I was like, "What? No."
Yeah. So here's the deal, right? It's
Dumb.
because again, it's because that you have the fear of being a cheater, and you would never dream of cheating in your life. And that is why it bothers you so much. And that is why it always enters your mind so much. And that is why you loop
No,
around
I just
it so
want
much, right?
one of the things that I identify with Mr. Girl a lot is that I want radical acceptance. I have a core belief.
Identify Mr. Girl. Oh God.
Well, he's the only person I've ever heard say that to their partner before, is that they want to say all the fucked up shit in their head, so that way they know that like they're really being loved for who they are. I have like this
Well,
core
yeah,
belief
but
that
then-
like I'll never actually be good enough for anybody in any respect. So like I've just like just take all this fucking fucked up shit about me, learn it, and then
Bro. Yeah, but
either
your
spit in
partner
my
doesn't
face
need to
or
know-
love me.
Yeah, but your partner doesn't need to know about every single one of your
yeah.
insecurities.
You know,
And
outside of the
another-
situation, it's obvious.
Yeah. And yeah, sure. And another thing is that obviously when you communicate that online, you're gonna turn into like people are just gonna go, "Bro, you're just coping. That's what you're doing," right? And yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right? So, what else can I say?
Yeah.
Like,
sorry for
yeah.
I live in Michigan, so that's why you saying goodbye took me 5 minutes to say goodbye. That's how we do it over here. We stand in
Okay.
the doorway with it open, letting in all the cold air to say goodbye
Yeah.
for 5 whole minutes. Yeah, I assume you're still gonna be
Dude.
streaming, yeah?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Do you know how to rate on YouTube? I have no fucking clue. Am I just not allowed to yet?
Oh. Yeah, just do you see the share button at the top right? No, sorry, not the share button, the edit button. Do you see that?
Edit video?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Edit video?
Yeah, on the
blue button?
studio. Yeah, on the live stream studio thing. Do you see that?
Oh. Hang on a minute.
Your
it-
stream manager. Do you not have it open?
I'm always just really lazy and I just click my video. Let's see.
No.
You not upload your podcast to RSS? No. Okay, so I have
Okay,
like
go-
to create.
Okay, go to customization in edit settings. Okay. And then go down to redirect. All right. And do you see the add button?
Yeah.
Okay. Now go to search videos from other channels.
Oh my god, that's so
And-
cool. I'm
Yeah.
gonna send them over to
I
you.
mean, it's actually a little inconvenient. I wish it was just one button, but
I couldn't do this before. I had no idea. That's because
yeah.
it is
Thank
very
you, though. I
inconvenient.
appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. You're the first person that I'm ever gonna rate on YouTube here. I
Yay!
So thanks for teaching me how to do it. By the way, I've been up for like over 30 hours now. I'm so fucking tired.
Bro, go to sleep.
I took a
Jesus.
shower and I got all those messages
Alright.
about Jstlk stream and it gave me a little bit of energy. I finally got to meet Vito.
I remember I was on a panel with him back then. I was roasting the fuck out of him.
He seems like a solid.
Listen,
dude, but yeah, I'm gonna
yeah.
get out of your hair. I'll probably put on your stream myself. Have a good night, Food Shops.
Yay. Okay. All right. I'll see you around. Bye bye.
Peace
All
out.
right. Farewell. Bye.
All right, be nice to Food Shops.